And we are streaming live on a Monday. My name is Iceman. This is the OK Show.
Gerard Rodriguez. Hello. What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
Monday,
What's up?
Monday. How's everybody's Monday?
Man. Early date for me. Started early. Obviously, waking up the kid and getting him ready for school and everything. So, yeah, typical Monday. Not busy. Not busy as like employee standard busy, but parent standard busy. So you know how it works. You're both. You're both an employee and a parent, right?
Mhm.
So you're double busy.
Yes. Double busy, but today is a holiday, so yeah, it was
Oh,
it was a bit busy, but
what's going on in
but
Japan?
it's the respect for the elderly day. Basically grandparents day, right?
Oh,
So
nice.
respect for the elderly day. So
Oh,
for
so
old
it falls
people.
in September as well. Falls in September as well. I mean, like I think it's a
Yes, it
worldwide thing,
does.
right? Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
is. It is. So it's
It's
a
the month
national
of the older
holiday, so
people.
it's a long weekend. Today we went to Nagoya to pick up a PC. So my wife got herself a MacBook Air,
Nice,
the M1 chip, MacBook
nice,
Air M1, the base model. But like so.
nice.
All right, right, yeah.
I,
So I think
that's
she needs it for work.
that's actually what I
Definitely,
wanted.
she
That's
does
what I
need it for
wanted.
work.
That's what I wanted. Actually a better deal than the Pro because it's the same thing. It's practically I don't even
It's
know what
the
the
same
difference is.
thing. No,
I don't think
the difference is you have
the
cash to burn, my
storage.
friend.
No,
You
no, no.
have
The
cash to
difference is
burn, my
this.
friend. We
No, no.
don't.
It's not that much different in the price either. I mean, the only reason
I
why I ended
know.
up with
No, come
the
on.
only difference why I
I
ended
know
up
how much it
getting
costs,
yeah
man.
the only
That's why we
difference
got
why
the
I ended up
MacBook
getting the
Air.
other one is because the Air wasn't available. My previous one was an Air, and I've always been a fan of the Air. It's just so much
No, I
lighter,
think
so much
MacBook Pro
smaller.
is a better choice. I mean, you have a lot of
I
things
don't.
going
What's the
on.
difference? Have you checked the specs? There's practically no difference, dude. Like everybody would even advise you against the Pro. If you look at the reviews, I checked it. I was like, oh man,
Well,
I
I mean,
really wanted the Air, but it wasn't available.
if you're short for cash, yeah, I'd say go for the MacBook Air. But if you have cash to burn, boom, just go for the MacBook Pro.
No, but I mean the MacBook, there's a huge difference in terms of the profile and in terms of portability, and it's sleeker, it's smaller. I don't know. I'm not used to like the blocky kind of thing. I mean, hey, I don't mind it, but I'm just saying I initially wanted the Air because I checked, and
Mhm.
before the specs between the Air and the Pro was like a world apart. Now they're practically the same thing. I think there's only like a difference maybe in the battery life. Like maybe I don't even know if it's like I don't know even if it's a substantial, significant difference in battery life. I think that's it. They're both M1. They both have the same chip. They both have the same processor. They're both okay. Air M1 has only one less GPU core, only one less, dude. And it's so it's a better deal. It's more portable. It looks cooler. So that was like why everybody was advising people against the Pro because now they're announcing that the new Pro is coming out and it's going to be
Mhm.
like in 14-inch. It's going to be
Right.
available in 14 inches, which is an inch bigger than the smaller Pro now. So
Right.
that's not a bad deal. She got a good deal. She actually did the wise choice. She's not losing out. She lost out by one GPU core, basically.
All right.
Joe boy, what's up?
What's up, Joe boy? How's the UK doing? And Patrick, of course, in Australia. Hey, the what
Yeah,
do you call them? The subjects of the Queen. They're both subjects of the Queen,
the
right?
minions.
The minions of the Queen. What's
I
up?
mean,
What's up?
you,
What's
dude.
going on in your kingdoms?
I don't know if you remember, like, if you ever have like British products lying around the house. I remember we used to have like maybe some of my dad's old colognes that were left over from the old house that he never took with him, and
Right.
they're probably like from England. And then my mom would like have cigarettes lying around. I think it's Philip Morris. It's probably not from England, but usually I don't even spill my. She would have cigarettes in the house. I think it's Dunhill. Dunhill was a cigarette. She would sometimes have this big box, and I would look at it. I was like, "Whoa, this is a different kind of cigarette," and it's Dunhill. And I'd always look at the back, and it always says by royal appointment or by appointment to Her Royal Majesty, blah 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 blah. And I never understood that. I'm like, what's this? Why do you have to have an appointment? Why is the statement here? And apparently, I think that's a thing. It pays respect to the royal family or the queen, the hierarchy, I guess, the royalty. And if it's a UK product, Like, I don't know if they're required to put that on all products, but certainly like certain cigarettes and certain like colognes, they have that in the back. It always says that, and there's like a seal, and it says by royal appointment to Her Royal Majesty the Queen, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what is this? And later did I realize that it only appears on products from the UK. And like whenever we see a product that has the UPC code, the UPC the UPC barcode, we always would say, oh, it's imported, right? Ah, stateside yan, may barcode.
Right.
Now
Hey, you got a
everything has a
fan, man. You got a
barcode.
fan.
Who is my fan?
Luis Manuel.
Luis.
Right, you got a fan.
Hey, Luis. Yo, been a fan since Rod's what thing? Whose thing? How big is the thing? Era of the OK Show. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that already. Dang, Luis, you people have good memories, man. What thing? Whose thing? How big is the thing? Yeah, I remember. I would always ask that. I think whenever an Iceman would walk in or something, and he would bring something up, or somebody would mention a thing. Man, it's been a while. I don't use that anymore, dude. Well, anyways, thanks for bringing it up. Speaking of radio days, thank you, Luis Manuel. All right, I'll just call him Luis. I don't even know what his nickname is. Yeah, see? Yes, we both have our mugs. We still have our mugs.
I don't have that anymore. The black one. I think it broke. I think it broke it somewhere.
We can't move on.
I think at home. No, I think I have.
This one is old school.
I have 3 of those. Then I broke one at home. Then the one I have at the station, I think I just left it there, and it eventually broke. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a Killer Bee mug anymore, but I have the magic mug. But I'm pretty sure I can ask somebody to make me a mug like that, right? So when I get home, I'm probably gonna have something like that made.
It's done very well though. And don't forget when you get your mug done, don't forget to include this part at the back, right? We all had this on our cars. I remember in the back of our cars, we would always
yes.
Right. We would have that. We all had that
www.killerbee.com.
Yeah, we still have that sticker. I only have one of these, and I'm glad I held on to it, and it's not broken yet. And I think I have a Breakfast Club mug too. I have one left. I gave them all away, and hopefully people are using theirs or didn't break theirs yet. But absolutely, those were wonderful years. Patrick says the Queen is somewhat irrelevant here, politically speaking, but when Prince Philip died a few months ago, it was a pretty big deal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. They don't have as much of an influence as, like, let's say, the royal family in Thailand. The royal family in Thailand, the people really, really respect them and really hear out their opinions and their decisions. They can actually say something, and the prime minister would step down, whereas in the UK, I don't think they dabble in political affairs. But I guess because they're more of a symbol now and of royalty rather than a symbol of power.
So they say. So they say.
Do
you watch The Crown? I've been watching The Crown.
No,
but I'm still in the second season, so I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know what happened in the later seasons, like the later years. Probably the early years. They still have a sort of they still have clout. They still have influence. They could still they're in secret.
Have you killed?
They can't be just
have you killed.
They could still have you.
I want to watch Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey is the one I want to watch. It's on Netflix.
Well, they told you when that guy died in a car accident, they stopped watching because what's the point? He was the main guy. He was the main guy in the story, and he died. I'm like,
it can't seem
Evan. And I can't watch it anymore.
It can't seem to move on from the first couple of episodes of Breaking Bad. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like Breaking Bad, Downton Abbey. I can't I can watch one episode. I can't progress from that for some reason. But like Game of Thrones, when I first watched it, I watched like a whole season straight. Walking Dead, when I first saw it with my wife, we watched a whole season almost straight, or at least every time it came out. Cobra Kai, I watched the whole thing because they had it on Netflix, the whole season 3.
Right.
But for some reason, there are some series that I cannot watch beyond 1 or 2 episodes. Maybe this doesn't have that draw. I don't know. It's different strokes for different folks. But
probably there's just too many options now. Sometimes you want to have a bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's watch a bit of drama, then a bit of action, then a bit of medical drama, then a bit of law drama. Then you just want to have a bit of everything. You watch Kate, you watch John Wick, then you watch Adam Sandler, comedy movie. You just want to have a mix of everything. So I think that's what it is now, because you have so many channels. You have so many streaming channels available. You have Netflix, you have Disney, you have Hulu.
Yeah.
right? I mean, do we have a
Amazon
Philippine
Prime,
streaming? Yeah, like Amazon
HBO
Prime,
Max, HBO Go,
HBO
whatever.
Max. How about in the Philippines? Do we have like a
Um,
local streaming channel that's like all Philippine movies or something? Like
Jeez,
Viva Films or Regal Films. I mean, they made a lot of
like
movies back in the day.
Jeepney channel. I don't know, Jeepney channel, PBO. uh, I
Well,
don't know,
all you need to do
Pinoy.
is go to YouTube, right? You go on YouTube, then you search for baguettes, and it's there the whole movie. The
The
full
whole
movie
thing.
is in there. Yeah.
But I have a gripe with baguettes. Baguettes too. Halfway through, the audio's gone.
Oh, really? You watched it?
Baguettes too. Yeah, baguettes too.
Baguettes
I
too.
saw the first baguettes. I saw it like 3 4 times. My
Right.
cousin's
No
there, but
problem.
the
Yeah.
second one I saw like halfway through, the audio's gone, and like even people commented because I thought it was like my TV or something, and people were like, "What happened to the nangyari sa audio, whatever? Like it's gone." Like so, but it was a good copy too. Like it was clear. It was better than the resolution of Baguettes One. Obviously, it's a slightly more recent movie. Came out a couple of years later. But I mean, talking about series too, I seem to be steering away from like heavy drama or depressing like TV series. Is like like I don't know. Like I don't really want anything, even movies like Saving Private Ryan or Schindler's List. I stay away from watching those things. I don't know why. As I've gotten older, I'm more into either lighthearted fun or like total fantasy, like Cobra Kai or The Witcher. I'm fine with those because The Witcher, obviously, I know it's fantasy. I'm not gonna feel depressed if anything anyone
Right.
dies, anything happens there. Cobra Kai, I know it's lighthearted, so I'm not gonna be affected. I remember watching an episode of not an episode like a couple of episodes of Grey's Anatomy because my wifey finished the whole thing. And
Right.
dude, there was a part there in the series, spoiler alert, where a lot of them got killed because some guy like held the whole hospital hostage. I don't know if you saw that part of Grey's Anatomy, which season that was. And
I
I'm
no,
like,
I've never
crap,
watched that.
man, I'm done with that stuff. Like, I don't want to watch anything heavy nowadays. Like, I'm not a fan of horror movies to begin with, but I don't watch anything depressing or sad or whatever. I don't know, maybe because I'm old now, and I know that we have real problems in life, and you don't need
Your
extra
mental health's like
stressors.
taking a toll. All right, you don't want to
Yes,
trigger any mental health problems.
absolutely. We don't
That's
want that,
true.
man.
That's true.
Nuh-uh.
That's
No,
true.
I don't want any
I'm
of that
trying.
crap.
I'm trying to balance things as well. Back in the day, I would be
Yeah.
watching these mind fucking movies. You know what I'm saying? It will just fuck with your
Hmm.
minds and stuff
I
like
get you.
that.
I
But
get
now
you.
it's just like before you could just like dismiss things. Now it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, with the
Nah,
pandemic and everything.
nah.
Holy
Yeah,
crap! It's
we're
gonna
done
take a
with
toll
that,
on you.
right?
I know. That's why
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
I'm sticking with the Golden Girls. Golden Girls.
I know.
Can you
I just like I
imagine
want
me
to watch.
watching the
uh,
Golden Girls?
I want to watch lighthearted shows, man. I'm done with the heavy shows. All right, so shout outs to Patrick, shout out to Gab, of course, shout out to Joe Boy and to Jepoy. He's on board as well. And if you guys are around, to Luis, all right, who's been a listener since my what thing, who's thing, how big is the thing days, and whoever else is on board, please let us know. You can chat with us. We will read your chat in real time. We will acknowledge your presence, and we will hear out your opinion as well. But we would like to share ours to just get the ball rolling. So the topic for tonight, what is it, Ice?
High school life versus uni life.
Uh-huh.
Which did you enjoy the most?
All right.
You got to
So
tell us
that's a
about it.
straightforward question.
All
Yeah.
right,
High
and we
school
have
or
something
uni?
from yeah, I think Joe Boy answered the
I think it was Joe
question.
Boy. Yeah, it was Joe Boy.
Enjoyed uni more freedom. Lols. All right. What
Um,
freedom? Joe Boy, can you
yeah.
expand on it? Like, what sorts of freedom are you talking about here? I mean, were you
Hindi na
not free in high
atid
school?
sundo. Hindi na atid sundo. Yeah, I think here in the Philippines, the environment here, high school environment here is more controlled. Like you have like the prefect of discipline, everybody's locked in the campus. You know, I don't know if Joe Boy knowledge during the time when you didn't have to wear a uniform. But when I was in Ateneo, we didn't have to wear a uniform for the boys, for the men. But obviously now you have to wear that blue thing, and people say they look like drivers or whatever. But yeah, I guess that's freedom. But which one did you enjoy more? I mean, we're waiting for Joe Boy's response. Which one did you enjoy more, Ice? Is it high
Um,
school or uni?
it's kind of tough.
Think it through.
It's kind of
Think
tough,
it through.
right? I'm gonna think it through for the next hour and a half, but um,
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
give you time.
high school was cool because yeah, I mean, you spend with the same people for
Same
for the
people.
next
Yeah.
4 years from freshman to your senior year. you're stuck with the same
Yeah.
people, more or less, right? Some people would leave and
Yeah.
move move to a different school, transfer, move to a different
Yeah.
place. I mean, yeah, it happened, but more or less,
Yeah.
it's the same people that you see for for 4 years, and you kind of like have a group, like your core group, and these
Yeah.
are your posse. These are your
That's true.
main people. You know what I'm saying? So you can't. I mean, wherever you go, they're there. That's how it was in high school. Like you see this guy,
Yeah.
you know that guy is going to be there at some point. So it's yeah. So it was kind of cool because it was sort of a family thing. Like you were a family for 4 years, right? You have no choice. You have to go to school. You have to see them. You have to
Yeah.
sit with them.
Yeah.
You have to eat with them, right? And you have nowhere else to go. So I mean, make most out of it. That's what everybody's probably what they have in their minds. Let's just like make most of our stay here. That's why some people just start making foolishness. Gumagawa ng mga kabulastugan because they're bored
Yeah.
out of their minds. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they
It's
would
like
do stupid
COVID.
things,
You're like
right?
stuck with each other for like 4 years, right? Same people,
Kuslan
same
man,
teacher, same
right?
same. Um. Yeah. Well, I was in high school practically. Well, I was in high school for 6 years, but since we had seventh and eighth grade, now the kids have what 11th and 12th grade. Is that how it works here? But for when I was in the States, it was a different adventure for me because obviously I was a new kid in school. I was moving to a new school, and it was a
It'll be
different
more or less six
situation.
years too, because we have like junior high or no high school then senior high. That's like 4 plus 2, so that's like 6 years of high school, which is what America has and what Japan has. Like they have junior high, senior high, 3 junior year, 3 years in junior high school, 3 years in senior high school. I think in America it's kind of different. Like you call it middle school. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Like just call
We
it like
call it,
what, 12th
yeah,
grade?
we call it
Like
middle school. We call it intermediate.
intermediate.
It's a yeah, preparation for high school. So it's a
Right.
separate school. It's an intermediate. So it's just grade 7 and grade 8. It's a separate school. It's a small
Right.
school. Obviously, very small population because only two grade
Right.
levels,
Grade seven,
and then
grade
the high
eight. Then
school
after
is a
that,
big
what?
one.
That's high school. All right. Okay.
Grade
So
7,
seventh
grade
grade,
8,
eighth
then you're
grade, then high
done, and
school.
then you go to high school. Yeah, 7th grade, 8th grade, then you go to high
So it's like
school, which is
six
a
years. Yeah.
bigger
High school is
school.
like 4 years. It's
Yeah.
just 4 years. Right. All
Yes,
right. Okay.
4 years. And the big difference there is like when you go to high school, that's when there's a football team. That's when there are sports, and we also had like a symphony band and stuff in
Mhm.
7th and 8th grade, but nothing major. We didn't really have like like major sports like activities. We didn't have a football field. We didn't have any of that
Mhm.
sort. Just like a little baseball diamond, and that's the difference. No, I did not graduate at Marshall High, Jepoy. I actually transferred my senior year to Natick High School. I joined my Auntie Bless and finished high school there, which is the worst thing that can happen for anybody in high school, is for you to move to a new school during your senior year, especially in the States, because we have what we call the senior prank. And all the seniors get together and they prank the school faculty. They either, like throw toilet paper at the, principal's house, or prank the principal, or burn the lockers or something. And I never got to participate in that because I was a
Burn the
new kid
lockers.
in school.
Isn't that arson?
Yeah. No, they didn't burn the wool locker. Like they would burn the locker combination because some of the lockers there depends on the school. The locker combo is plastic. It's not metal.
Right. So they
So
would
when
burn
you
it.
when you open your lockers, you do the combination, right? So and then
Right.
one time I went to my locker and it was melted because they apparently maybe
Right.
somebody
Did
put a
they
lighter
did
under it
they
or whatever.
actually open it and took something in it?
No, they didn't. I don't really put anything valuable in my locker. I mean, not
Right.
not
Okay.
many
So
kids
they
do.
didn't
Just
take anything from
they didn't take
inside the
anything.
locker. Nothing. All right.
But
Because that would be
but they did
theft.
it. It would be theft. It was more, and there were no CCTVs back then. This was more against the school than against the student. So they were burning school property, basically. I mean, of course, it affected me. It was my locker, but
Right. I
it
mean,
usually happens at the end of the year.
if you really think about it, what's the point of doing all these things? They're just bored. They just want to do stupid things,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. But it's a tradition. See, that's the thing
Kagaguhan.
in the
I
states.
know.
That's the thing in the states. It's a tradition. People just live and die by traditions over there. Like, if it's St. Patrick's Day, they color the river green in Chicago. If it's they just have this tradition that people go through. I remember
Yeah,
every
but it's
time it's
different
almost
when you burn
summer.
somebody's locker.
Yeah, that's just one of the things that they do. It's not that they do it every year. something different every year. But that particular year, my senior year, that's what they did. So, anyways, so for me, between college and high school was a different kind of fun because I was coming from the Philippines, going to the US, and making new friends from different walks of life. But in here, when I moved to the Philippines, when I came back to the Philippines for college, it was a different kind of fun because you discover girls, you discover barcada, you discover bisho, you discover all. And I really, man, I was in college for like what 7 years, 8 years. So that was I had fun. I made the most of it. So when you say fun, I'd say college because of what Joe Boy said, just more freedom. And I had freedom. I lived with my grandmother who didn't even bother to control me. I basically came home because I had a conscience. I could have decided to not go home or whatever because my mom wasn't around. I wasn't with my dad. I wasn't with any of my older sisters. It was just me and my grandmother in the house, in an old house. And my
Mm.
grandmother, she would just believe everything I would say. Lola, we have a group
Right.
work. Lola, and so I was able to really live like the college bachelor life. But in high school, it was like most high schoolers, even here in the Philippines, it's the same thing. It was more controlled. You were more dependent. You didn't have as much money as you did in college for some reason, because you could not make kupit.
Mhm.
You can you can say that you took full load in college and you only actually enrolled like 12 units. Um, but in high school, it's yeah, and high school was more work, right? Would you agree? High school felt more it like the schoolwork. You felt more of the load. Like you really had to study. You really had to do the projects. You really in college it was more of like you could get by just like copying your classmates' work or like group work, but only one person would do all the work. I don't for some reason during college,
Right. I
I
mean,
didn't
if you're
feel
not the
that
one doing the
right.
work, then yeah, you could say that. But if you're that
Yeah,
person in the group who's doing the work, so I don't think he has the same experiences you have. Like when you say, like, oh, in high school it was more work
no,
because
but
in college,
no, but
and that guy in college
you,
who's
you know
actually
you
working
know
would be
who
like,
was
speak for yourself. I was doing
who was
everything.
doing who was doing all the work. It was the late
Who?
great Milky was doing all our work, and you know what, he was getting paid. I mean, he was making money off of it. I mean, I remember him writing the
Right.
thesis of some of the 4 year students, and he charged 1.5 each. 1,500 pesos back then was a lot of money each. And you know how many theses he did for them, how many students? I mean, so he would do hours for free. I mean, not that we had to do a thesis, but anyways, I got to answer a phone call real quick. Um,
All right. Okay. So we have
all right, go.
people joining in.
Hi.
Louise, uni's a lot better, man. You are more exposed to the outside world. Of course. You have more free time.
Yes, sir.
Raj! Hey, Raj!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, your helmet is coming.
Kay Nino,
There's a
yes,
bit of
kay
a
Nino.
problem with the shipping,
Nino
but I'm yeah, within the
Oo,
week you're gonna get it,
kay
Raj.
Nino. Okay ko, yeah, kay
Don't
Nino, yes,
you
yes.
know like it's not
Kay
my
Nino.
fault.
Actually,
Don't
ginawa ko,
blame me.
trinade ko yung,
Blame my
I
sister.
traded in my,
You blame Reese for that. Anyway, right, yeah.
tele,
So
US tele, and then,
Louise was saying
I
that
added
uni is a
cash.
lot better. Yeah,
Tapos, I recently bought another guitar,
you
so,
could say that
I have a
you're
hard
more
time
exposed to the
playing
outside
both.
world. You
I
have
want to
more
focus on
time
one
to
guitar.
loiter
Yes, I
outside. You
do.
have more free time.
Kaya,
You can get a part time job if you want. That's exposing you to the reality of life.
yes,
Or
yes,
you can
yes.
just spend time
Yes, at
with
saka
your
maple
girlfriend or
yung
boyfriend
guitar ko eh.
because you have so much free
So,
time. So
it's
you can just
maple.
like
So,
loiter around the campus. You
Silver
can
Sky.
watch
PRS.
movies
Yung kay Mayor.
in your free time.
Kay Mayor.
So yeah, there's just like lots of
No,
things
it's
to do, which is not really
Golden
related
Mesa.
to actually learning. You're not
Oo,
studying,
yung
you're doing
ang
projects.
sikat na color is
You're
yung ano,
not
'di ba?
working. You don't have that much
The
load.
sikat na color is
But it's
yung
more of like you're just
yung
enjoying
green,
the
ang
experience
oxide.
of being able to do things
Or
which you weren't able to
tungsten.
do when
Oo.
you were in high school. Because at some point,
Whatever with the Golden Mesa
especially
kasi
during our
ano siya,
time, but
quiet.
yeah, probably our time. Like like by the time we
Yeah,
reach
though mas
18, we're like
warm
what on
yung
our
tone
junior
nung
year
nung
in college. So at that time, you're already an adult, so you can practically just yeah do everything. You can drive, you can drink, you can watch R18 movies, you can rent R18
yes.
videos. You can do a lot of
Ang
things. So yes,
MTT,
you're
wala
going
siyang
to
case
be pretty
actually.
much
Yung
exposed
nagamit lang ninyo, wala
to
siyang
the
case. Pero I have a
outside or
case.
real world
I have a clear
compared to being in
case,
high
but it's
school.
it's
Okay,
a
Patrick is saying, I
HRDR
beg to
case. Pag
disagree,
maganda
Rod. With
siya,
my
pero I
case
know
as a
if
computer
I'm
science
use that
student,
in
the projects are
the
more
purpose of
stressful
selling it
than in high
cheaper.
school. Right.
Kasi I think hindi nyo
That's what I
masanay
was
sa
saying.
70 or
Like it's
something.
not the same for everybody. I mean, I was in the BA division. I was in the SBG. But back then it was the BA division. So I majored in marketing. But before ending up in the BA division, I was actually in the accountancy division in my first
Talagang
year.
ownership
So
siya.
it was really
Oo.
terrible.
Kasi
Spreadsheets, balance sheets. Are you kidding
naka-stress siya
me?
eh. More
That was
magaling yung
nuts,
effects sa
right?
ambience.
I didn't want to be there, but my
Kaya
dad
ka na,
pushed me
na pedal
to
na
take up accounting, and I had to
may
be there.
assignment ka. Bagay
So
sa'yo.
I had to endure that one semester of accounting,
Yeah.
right? But I was very stupid because I didn't know that I would
Yes,
still
yes.
have those subjects
Yes.
in the
Nandiyan.
BA division.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I
Sa solo
literally
man,
just
you really can solo.
intended, or
Sa solo
I
din,
practically
mas
just,
ni.
you know,
Solo.
intentionally failed
Different.
my accounting 111. That was my
Yes, I
first
have
accounting
that.
subject.
Yeah, I have the certificate.
I intentionally
I have
failed.
one. For
I did
shipyard
fail.
drawings.
For the most part, I was just like sleeping during the
This is
lectures.
guitar actually.
And if we have those tests, I would just like answer the
Guitar, you can learn more.
multiple choice. If there are
Graduated
like
from
some
UP.
computations that needs to be
And then
done,
the third
I would just
one.
like leave it at that. I would just like pass
Kasi ninyo.
my paper. I would be the
Yeah,
first one
kasi
to pass my
kapalit
test
talaga
paper,
ng
and I
guitar
would
niya.
leave.
The guitar
So
of
no
the
doubt
church.
I failed, right? I mean, the
It's not so
professor, my
guitar. It's
teacher,
actually.
didn't even give me a chance, or
Yeah.
didn't even ask me
Not
if
so.
like I want to
Yes,
pass or
that's the
something. So
actual
I
guitar.
really failed that subject. And to my
Ninyo.
surprise, I have
Yes.
to take it
And then
again
ninyo
because
like slowly
I
nag-modify
needed
ko yun
that
kasi medyo aware na ako eh na
for like
experience
it's in the
mo na
perspective. So I needed that for my
okay,
course.
lang. So I
So
had it for a
if
while
I
and then
knew that I would still be taking
nabigyan
that
ako so I did
in
use that
marketing,
once I had another
I would
one.
have worked my
And
ass off and passed that freaking subject, but I didn't. I was so stupid, I failed
so
it,
yun.
and that was a rookie mistake. It was terrible. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, holy crap. But
Siguro
yeah,
okay.
yeah, if you're
The
in
longest
a
I can
course
go,
where
pauna na lang
it
dito eh. The
requires a
longest
lot
I
of
can
hard
go for
work,
maybe
like for
55.
example,
Pero
Patrick,
I won't
you're in the
reserve
computer
it.
science
Kung may
division,
mauna
right?
for 59, then
Then
I will
yeah,
let it go.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's the
If you're in the
lowest I can
engineering department,
That's the lowest I can go.
civil
Pauna na lang.
engineering,
But I'm not gonna reserve it.
ECE, electrical engineering, industrial engineering, all types of engineering, mechanical engineering. All right, I mean these courses are damn crazy, man. They're gonna take away your life. You're gonna be stuck in the library. You're
Sana
gonna be
nga
stuck
eh. Sana
with
nga.
your I don't know with those things that they bring with them, the T squares and
Nakakamakilan.
whatnot. Holy crap! Who would do that to themselves? Well, yeah, the engineering people do. All right, the computer science people do. Of course,
Okay.
they're looking at the
Okay.
future. We're looking at the now. That's what we did, me and Rod. I would assume. All right. In college, you don't have to wake up
Okay.
early. All right, from Gabby. If you don't have morning classes, yes, of course. But I did have 7:40 classes. Unlike high school, that you have to wake up every
Yeah,
morning.
dito,
Every
immediately.
morning, of course, yes. That's high school. High school life. Ice in your college day. This is from Jepoy. Do you have ROTC? Yes, we did. Holy crap! Yes, we did. My first year and second year, I had to attend it like um,
Yes, yes.
for two
May
semesters.
bakal,
Then I
papakal.
gave up. I attended for 2 semesters. Then I gave up. I was like, fuck it. All right, like I don't care. I mean, if I'm not gonna graduate, I'm not gonna graduate. I don't care. I don't want to take it anymore. I hate these guys who are in the ROTC. They were power trippers, right? They're not really, I mean, they're not
Oo, yung
real
parang road
military men.
camping. Oo,
They
yung road
pretend
sa...
to be military
Baka
men.
pwedeng mag-meet
They're
up lang natin
not.
somewhere.
And
Like sa SM or something.
they scream at you. They ask you to do a lot of shit, and
Meron ba?
I mean, well, they
Ah,
probably went through
sige,
it
sige, ito
themselves,
na
but
lang. Kasi I'm
why
doing
would
a
you do that
podcast
to
show
yourself,
now.
right? I mean, I didn't want to do that to myself, but
The
well,
details
yeah,
and
I
then
was in there for
wala,
about two semesters, and I
I'll try to
just
call you
like
after
didn't
also.
care in it. All right, I'm not gonna enroll anymore. I did that for 2 semesters. Luckily, when I was in my senior
Pero,
year, that was
ang wife ko may
dissolved.
BPI, pero ako
So I
hindi.
was able to graduate. Right, I never expected to graduate because I still
Kami
had
hindi
that
din ako.
ROTC problem. But then all of a
Pero sa
sudden,
Balikin.
boom, it got dissolved. So I completed my subjects, my perspectives
I have
done.
a
So
video
I
already.
graduated. Lucky
Wife ko may
me.
BPI, pero
Lucky
ako
me indeed.
video net.
Right. So yes, I did for two semesters and I hated it.
Sige, pwede
Did
message
you
mo na
do
lang.
it to Jepoy?
Ha?
Did you love doing it? All right. Man, I was
Sure,
even
sure,
late with
sure.
my
Sige, sige.
9:15 a.m.
Ah,
class,
sige, mga after an hour,
9:15
hour
a.m.
and a
to
half
10
siguro.
a.m. class. I would really make sure that all my
Sige.
classes are in the afternoon. All right, Patrick, that's a smart move. Ilang
Sorry,
units?
man.
So that would be like 3 units because I attended like 1 point. Yeah, ROT is like 1.5 unit, right? So I attended 2 semesters. So I did like 3 units of it. ROTC in Ateneo. Man, we are lucky to have NSA. Yes, of course, Patrick. You are a lucky son of a
Okay.
bitch. That's what you
I have to
are.
answer Patrick's question. Rod, do every student have lockers in the US? Yes. It's public school. I went to public school, and you don't get the little lockers, you get the full lockers, because especially if you're in the East Coast, you have winters there. Where are you going to put your coats? Where are you going to put your jackets and stuff? You're not going to wear that in class. So that's where I put my skateboard. But yes, we do get lockers. It's like I think in California, like in LA or whatever, I think some schools there have smaller lockers because they don't really bring coats and stuff like they do in the East Coast. But since I went to school in the East Coast, we have the full size lockers, and we all have one. It's issued to you every beginning of the year, and it's color coded. So like if you're a freshman, it's yellow. If you're a sophomore, it's blue. I think when you're a junior, it's red. When you're a senior, that I forgot what the color is. Probably like a dark. It kind of gets darker, but anyways, yeah. I just remember when it was my first year, it was a yellow color. Yeah. So hopefully that answers the question. But I gotta apologize first, right? I got a phone call. That phone call is fairly important because I'm selling my other guitar, and that guy's
Right.
buying that guy's buying it. So, you know, I can't pass that up. It's a deal. It's a deal being made.
All right. So yeah.
ROTC.
So
Yeah.
is it a done deal? It's sold.
I think it's a fairly done deal.
All
But
right.
the guys from Jensen, he has a friend here who will pick it up, or so we'll work something out. I don't know if he's watching now, but shout out to Ben. That's the guy's name. He just called
All
me.
right.
I've
Hi
never met
Ben.
him, but I just posted the guitar this afternoon, actually. So yeah.
Jetboy has a
Anyways,
question for you. Did you do
yeah, Jetboy.
ROTC?
You know what? We found a way. We a friend of mine spoke to the commander battalion, whatever batcom, whatever,
Corps
I don't know what they're
commander. Corps
called, but
commander.
corps
They
commander,
call him
corps
the corps,
commander.
corps
Okay,
commander.
the corps commander. I remember the ROTC office, right, by the court,
Right.
by the covered
Yes.
court, right, that corner
Yes.
near the Was it
They
next
have
to
an office
Samahan?
there.
Was
It
it next to
is
Samahan?
no. It was like Samahan Central Board. I was a member of it. I was a part of it. And then there was this like smaller office, which is like a religious
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah. There was another
Then the
office. Yeah.
ROTC.
Okay,
So in the
okay.
middle, there's like
So
something in it, like a tiny
so
one.
you
Then
see
the
Samahan, the one
ROTC.
with the free phone. Samahan, the one with
Yeah,
the free
with the free
phone. If you
phone.
want to make a
Yeah,
call.
for
Yeah.
students.
Okay. Got
When
it.
you make
Got
a
it.
phone calls from
All
there.
right.
Right.
Okay. So no, so I was able to escape from our OTC. I was only able to attend maybe 2 or 3 classes of it, and then my friend found a way. So what we did was we bought hole punchers, staplers, and stuff for the office. And we were told we were not medics, but we were like commie guys, like communication dudes. And I didn't even own a radio at the time, the breaker, and I didn't even know how to do the Q codes and the
Right.
the,
They made up a bunch
the
of
10 codes.
like bogey
That's for
positions
yeah,
or
yeah.
bogey
And
whatever
then
department. They
and
put you
then
there to take your money. Right. That's what they do.
I,
Of
I
course.
I tell you, man, corruption starts early. All
Yeah,
right,
I know. That's why. That's
corruption
why.
starts early, dude.
That's
It's
why
everywhere.
lucky you, Patrick, that you didn't have to put up with it because they just like abolish it. And I would tell you that it is a good thing. It is a good thing. Like people would like I've seen memes like, oh, no, it has nothing to do with discipline. Come on, man. I mean, I know a lot. I mean,
No,
would you say that you're not disciplined, Patrick, because you didn't take ROTC?
I know.
I'm sure that you would beg to disagree with that, right? So I mean, it's a
I,
really pointless thing. I mean, if there are people who wants to join the military, they can join the military, but you cannot impose it on people. All right, in Japan, we don't even have it. You're not required to do things. Yes, South Korea does that
oh,
because you know why?
but
Because they have a thing with North Korea, so they need it. They
yeah,
need that.
yeah,
Right? We
it's
don't have
required.
like
Yeah,
right. So it's required for them
we're not at war.
because
We're not at war.
yeah, we're not at war. So I mean, yeah, if you want to serve your country, which is a good thing, well, you can always go to and apply for a military position or whatever. Yeah, it's fine,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But if you impose it on all the kids who go to college, I mean, that would be unfair. Like I didn't like
It's
it.
kind of like it's kind of like National Guard in the States. Like the National Guard in the States, they're more of like the civilian kind of soldiers that get called on if the military is not enough, or if the conflict isn't like big enough for the military to be called in. So these are
Right,
basically like regular people who can carry weapons and have that kind of level training, like
right.
ROTC level training.
They
But
enlisted,
I
right?
think
They
they get
enlisted for
paid.
that.
But I
They get
think they
paid.
get paid.
They get paid.
They get paid.
They enlist
So
themselves.
yeah, and the thing with ROTC was it was more power tripping, really. It wasn't even about, it was like a lot of the guys
That's what I
who,
said
they're
earlier.
just
Power
students,
tripping. Yeah.
right? Yeah, power tripping. They're just students, right? They're just students who are like a year or two older than you. And they like try to knock you around and bully you and like treat you the same way they were treated when they were in your place. So I was like, man, I have to wake up early for this crap. And it just, just give me schoolwork. And not everybody has the physical, I guess, gifts to deal with conditions like that. I see people like just nearly die of exhaustion from all the stuff that you have to do. And like I said, I only attended 3 sessions or 4 sessions at most of it, and I was out of there. So I found a way. But anyways, moving on. ICE in your college day, do you have ROTC? What I did not go through though is CAT because I was in the States for high school. We did not have that. That was not a requirement at all. But I know here in
See,
the Philippines,
it's
some students
overkill.
had
It's
CAT.
overkill for us. It's
You had
so much.
CAT?
It's yeah. I have to go through CAT. Then there's ROTC after that. You see, that's overkill.
Yeah.
What's the point to
That's,
all of this? But anyway,
I don't really get it.
it's done now.
Yeah.
All right. But,
Yeah, it's done now. It's yeah.
after my freshman year in
Pat,
college, the building you guys are talking
did you
about got
read?
demolished to make way for the new building. What? Um,
Yeah, that's the new one.
I
Did you
read
read Patrick's message about him
from
like having a harder time in college because he was a comp sci student? And comp
yeah,
sci
yeah,
is like
right,
only
yeah.
three people.
We talked
Only
about
three
it.
people graduate. So you read that?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
we talked
Okay,
about. I was
proceed.
ranting about the fact that it's very different because you were saying like, oh, it's easy, but no, it's not really. Because I was I mean, you were in the engineering division, right? Your first
Yeah,
semester,
engineering. Yeah.
right? So you know what I'm
Civil
talking about.
engineering.
I was ranting about it. Like I
Yes,
was in the accounting
absolutely.
division, and that was a lot of hard work. And I was so stupid because I thought that I wouldn't be taking any accounting subjects when I moved to marketing or to the BA division. But to my surprise, I still have to take the same subject that I intentionally failed. So that was a stupid mistake.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean, so it goes without saying that it really depends on what you're studying in college. Because if you're a computer science student, if you're an engineering student, if you're uh, those really difficult subjects that we have in college, if you're in that department, if you're in that division, then I
yeah,
mean that would be a lot of work. But then again, Patrick, we're kind of talking about like, for example, if you are into computers or whatever programming, I'm pretty sure it's a walk in the park for you, right? I mean, it's difficult, but I mean that would be a walk in the park because that's what you want to do. Whereas with
yeah,
us, we didn't want to do any of those things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of so that's
I
why we
agree.
wanted to like
I
take
agree.
a different course where we can just like loiter around and be cool. I think that was the whole
Yeah.
point to it.
I think I'm like I think here's my thing about education. We're all born as different people. We're all the same, but we're all different. Like I like to draw. I'm artistic. Ice is more of like maybe he's a history buff and whatever. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Pacquiao was obviously athletic and gifted in that department, and Einstein is in the law of relativity, whatever the heck it is that he came up with. And Patrick is a computer geek or math genius, whatever the heck he is. And you cannot force one thing. You cannot force a square into a circle. You know what I'm saying? And I think the educational system here, not necessarily the educational system, because you are given a choice, but I think sometimes our parents are ignorant to the fact that their kids might not be capable of what that course entails and what the job opportunities are. Your kid might actually not even want to do that for a living, you know, because you really don't know. I mean, like I said, some people are strong in academics, some people are strong in arts, and some people are strong in athletics. And I'm more of an arts guy. So, and to make me take up civil engineering, I mean, just because my mom was like, because there's money in engineering, I'm like, yeah, there's money in engineering if you finish the course and if you actually do well in the job. Yeah, there's money in it. But if you take it up and don't want to do it, or you're lousy at it, it's not going to happen. Um, I'm pretty sure somebody already said to Pacquiao that there's no money in boxing, but I guess, it depends because that was Pacquiao. But my point being here is that, that's the thing in college. That's kind of like the dictating factor if it's fun for you or not. But the thing with college, though, I realized, especially here, is that I realized that you had a choice. You had a couple of years to sort of, you could fall down and get up. You have like at least two chances or something where you could shift. Like it's not too late. You're not too old to graduate if if you shift at the right time. If you decide to shift or get kicked out of a particular course. Civil engineering, I realized wasn't for me. I shifted. I took up business management. It still wasn't for me, but what the heck, I mean, there was no fine arts or there was no arts related anything in Ateneo at the time. I don't even know if they had it now. I mean, you Ice, you've always been a marketing guy. You always wanted to sell stuff. Is that what your
No,
thing
no,
was,
no, no, no.
or
I didn't really know what I wanted. I mean, I wanted to be a lawyer, but it was. I mean, I've seen what was happening with our with our lives as a family, right? Like my dad was going through something, so I was thinking that no, it would be impossible for me to proceed to law because with our current situation at that time, it would be impossible. So and I just didn't have I just didn't have the passion for accounting. So I was like, no, I don't I don't want to do accounting. And I was doing
yeah,
radio already, and I wanted to do radio. Then my dad was like,
yeah,
no, you can't be in the mass comm division. You cannot take com arts. All right, let's compromise. If you want to, if you don't want to stay in the accounting division, find something that has business law in it. So um, in BA, there's a few business
public
courses there. I
on,
think there were like three. This was like finance, and there's management, there's marketing. So I picked marketing because
yeah,
it's more or less close to, in the broadcast industry where I mean, you're marketing, you're selling yourself or something. So I was
yeah,
like, all
yeah.
right, I'll pick
It's more
marketing.
exciting. It's more exciting.
Yes, because by the time you reach your senior year, you'd be studying taxation laws and whatnot, negotiable instruments. So my dad was just, all right, fine, just like go with that. I'm cool with that. So yeah, I took it, but I really wanted to at least take up commerce, because I was already in radio. So I thought I could take broadcasting seriously. But well, I ended up with the with the course that I have right now, which is Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, majoring in marketing. That's what I have. So it wasn't really like it's my passion, but then it has its uses. So yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I mean it's like broader than most, you know. Like if you say marketing, it's quite broad, you know, and there is more like human interaction that comes with it. I mean, business management was like it was an option that I remember. I When I shifted, I was with a couple of other batchmates, a couple of my friends. One of them got kicked out, so he had to move to Holy Cross. I made it, you know, like I barely was able to sort of stay in Ateneo because I really did terrible in engineering, and you know, like I still had that chance to shift, and business management was like if I had known, I really wanted to take up mass comm because all the pretty girls were in mass comm, and we talked about this before, like all the pretty girls were in
Right.
mass comm, but all the social kids were in BA in management. And when I took a management and I was in management, I was with a class that was like, I think, younger than me, or maybe a year younger or something. I don't know. That was some of the classmates were younger because I was obviously behind because I took like a year's worth of engineering. So I was behind and they were a little younger. And I noticed most of these kids were like rich kids. I'm like, it's totally different from the engineering classmates. My engineering classmates were like people who went to Notre Dame in Cotabato. My engineering classmates were like these guys who had long hair or like a mullet, or were like, you know, rockers, and they were all rugged looking guys. And I felt at home with them because we would eat at carinderias and stuff. But then when I moved in to business management, they're all wearing Doc Martens. They're all wearing designer clothes. You know, they had the gerbos, and they're all from Ateneo High School. So I was like, I wasn't intimidated. It was just a change of environment. I was like, okay, because the other like the other class, engineering, when when we introduced ourselves, you know, hey, hi, I'm whatever, and most of them were like from Notre Dame and Cotabato or from out of town. And I said, okay, I'm Rod Rodriguez. I graduated at this high school from everybody, all the engineering classmates of mine, all like came up to me and said, "Bay, patabang ko sa English, ha?" Because I mean, whether you admit to it or not, it's not, whether it sounds like it's profiling or not, most of the engineering guys, really, that's their weakness. They hate English. You know, they hate speaking it. They hate the subject. They're not very good at it or whatever. And I'm very bad in math. So I was like, okay, X deal. You help me with math. I help you in English, you know? And that's when I made like lifelong friends, you know, who I'm still friends with now. That's where I was classmates with, you know, I don't know if you know Royet, but this guy Rodrigo, Oy, Taggy was my
Padilla,
friend there. We were close. Griniel. No,
Roy,
not that guy.
no,
The
not
New
Roy
World,
still.
New
Yeah,
World
right.
Order. He's kind of crazy. He's in the States now, though, that guy. But I
Okay.
remember him getting in a fight the first day. The first day of school. That like these engineering guys, man. I was like, dude, I was there to make friends. I was friends with them. We were hanging out. There's this one class beside us, and there's this guy, and he was like by tabis. And apparently, this dude that he was saying making tabis to him had like a tick, like he would always go like this. I don't know if you know the guy. His name's Louis Lau. He's like probably older than you, but this guy was like
Right.
going like this. And dude, he actually punched him like out of nowhere. It's like bye, bakap ako, ah. He walks over to the guy and punches him in the hallway. Like, what the heck is going on here? It's like my first day in engineering class. But I enjoyed it. I had fun with him. But then I moved and I shifted to management the second year. And he was like, man, everybody's so freaking conscious here. Everybody's so freaking conscious, dude. And they just stay within their groups. So that wasn't so much fun until my third year and fourth year, where I became, we had like a family, the 4MA, 3MA, 4MA class, which I think probably for me was the most permanent of all my classmates,
Mhm.
because we were classmates third year and fourth year. Whereas my first year and second year was a mess. And but for high school, high school was my nerdy years. It was fun, but it was nerdy. It's a self discovery, man. You're going through puberty. It was the first time you watched porn with your friends. It was the first time I played role playing games. It was the first time I would save my allowance to be able to buy things. It was the first time I had a job and be able to have like quite a substantial amount of money and just waste it on nonsensical stuff because of my obsession with comic books at the time. So it was fun, but it was innocent fun. College was more of like, I'm just glad I got through it without,
Innocent.
you know,
Porn is innocent.
yeah, but practically it is. I mean, you're innocent. You're just you're not watching it because you're doing it. You're watching it because it's a new thing for you. But college, you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. You're
I
doing
wasn't
what you
doing
want
it.
when
I
you're in high
wasn't
school.
doing it. I told you I wasn't doing it in college. I'm a
Yeah,
late
but you're not
bloomer.
missing out on much. It's overrated. But I mean, well, maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's like you're at your peak, but you're not. Like you look back, man, I look stupid. Like we all wore those 501s that you fold out and you wear the Doc Martens and you all had that
Right.
hair and the undercut and the Giordano classics. Everybody looked the same. Like we all thought we were being in, like I had a goatee. Like we all thought we were individuals, like this is our being an individual. You all freaking wore the same thing. Giordano classic shirt, 501s, folded out to show the stitching is like the 501
Right.
stitching.
Right.
And then Doc Martens, you know, I mean, then the Gerbo jeans came out, all these like designer stuff. But it was fun. It was fun because nobody cared about where I was, what time I'd be home. My Lola cared, but she couldn't do anything about it. I don't know with you though. I don't know with you if your parents were strict with you during college because your parents were
Talking
around. My parents were
talking
around.
about ice pop?
Yeah.
Come on.
Like,
Like
did you
you
have to
don't know
be
my
home by
dad.
a certain time?
No, in high school I didn't have to be home at a certain time. This was in high school.
Okay,
My
so
dad's like the
you're cool.
loose of every, like
So your
he's the
mom.
definition of loose.
What about Ice Mom?
No, my mom's like if my dad didn't care, she didn't care.
Okay, cool. But you were
I
never
was in
the
fourth.
type though who take advantage of that, right?
No, because like, see, that's the thing. That's the thing with my dad. Like he was like, all right, these are the rules. You stick with these rules, and you're fine, right? And these rules are not even reasonable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, basically, I think if I would have to sum it up, the rule would be don't be stupid, and we're fine. That was his rule.
Okay.
Don't be stupid, and we're all good, right? So
Okay. All right.
what it meant was like, don't do drugs, don't drink, don't be smoking, whatever,
Yeah.
and you can do whatever you want, right? So
Yeah.
I could stay out late and I could go to, my friend's house and they're
You
all
could sleep
drinking.
over. You
I
could sleep
sleep
over
over a
at like
lot.
friends' houses, right? Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
can
I
imagine you
would be
doing that.
gone for
Yeah.
2 days. My dad didn't care. My dad would
Yeah.
come and he would be, all right, okay, where you been? I've been to like this guy's place. All right. Then I would like take a shower, then pack my stuff, and he'd be like, "What? Wow, gone already? Oh, burder. Naditay burder deriday." That's what my dad would say, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "All right, I'm gone," and he'd be, "All right, see you in 2 days," and that's it. So I didn't have a problem with my parents.
Did you have
My
more freedom because you
grandfather.
were the kuya? Did you have more freedom
No,
because
I
you were
mean
the
it
kuya
applied to
or
everybody. It applied to everybody.
okay.
So it
All right.
was more of like, I mean, my responsibility was to look after them. So my dad was kind of like, all right, I'm going to trust you to look after your brothers because that's your job. All right, so make sure that they're not doing any stupid things. And as
Yeah.
an older brother, that was what I did. I was like, all right, I don't want to be like in trouble with my dad, so I have to look after my two brothers, which was well, just difficult for Miko because yeah, DJ Miko was kind of like he was this tough kid. Alfred, the one in Canada, he was also he was good at two shoes as well. He was just like focused in basketball, and he was smart
Sports.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Miko was the guy who who drank, who had vices. He smoked, so it was kind of like tough, and maybe it wasn't our fault anymore because like we were showing him um
Yeah.
an example that we don't do it ourselves, so like don't do it.
Yeah.
But well, he wanted to do those things like drink, smoke, and yeah, so
There's
basically
always one
it
in the
was
family.
right.
There's always
So
one in the
that's
family.
him.
My
That's
middle
him.
sister was the one. My middle sister was the one. I mean, like I remember my dad, like when my dad first met my wifey, and we were married already. This was during our honeymoon in Bangkok. And my wifey told me that my dad spoke to her, they had a talk, and that my dad was telling her, yung anak kong yan, di ako binigyan ng sakit na ulo niyan, he's like, he's always been like, I know I haven't been around, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I did not realize that. Like, I didn't hear that from my dad directly, but to hear him say that, to find out that he said that to my wifey, like I felt like, okay, it kind of paid off. Like, because I wasn't really exerting any effort necessarily to be a good kid. And I wasn't a good kid. I did all the bad stuff. I just knew how to cover my tracks. And I just knew I always stood by one principle. And this is my advice to a lot of the college kids out there or high school kids out there that's going through all the adventures that they will go through in life, whether it's the Iceman adventure route or my adventure route or make your own adventure route. Here's my advice, all right? Especially if your parents are very proud of what they've accomplished and they've set a good example for you, just make sure you don't do anything that will bring shame to the family. I think that's the only thing. Don't be that guy. Don't be the son, the daughter who, when there's a family reunion, everyone will say he's the one that got us in trouble. He's the one. I mean, just that was just my thing because, like, I didn't know because my two older sisters, they were kind of set already. They were doing their own thing already. And I don't think they could do anything wrong. But for me, it was like, man, every step I took, every time I went out, every time I drove drunk, every time I was with a different girl, every time I was partying or trying a new drug or whatever it was that I was doing, I was like putting one foot in, you know, I was risking something. I was putting one foot either in the jail, in the hospital, or in the cemetery. And I did not want that the time would come where my dad would get a phone call and wherever he was posted, and they would say, okay, your son is in jail, or your son got somebody pregnant, or your son, got caught this, blah, blah,
Hang on,
blah,
hang
or
on,
your
hang on.
son,
Why would
you
somebody
know,
call your dad and hey, your son gets somebody pregnant? I think you should make that phone call, not other people. I mean, yeah, jail
or maybe the
probably,
dad of the
other
girl. I don't
people,
know. Maybe he did
hospital,
get that
yes,
phone
other
call. I
people.
don't know.
See?
No, but,
Dude,
okay. Okay,
oh,
okay, maybe not
your
that one.
son gets somebody pregnant.
I'm
Are
just
you
saying.
sure? I haven't heard anything from my son yet.
I mean, I'm just trying to narrate and run down all the possible troubles that people could get into if they're in high school or college. So, I mean, I'm just including that, but not necessarily technically like, very specific that it would happen. But I was just saying, just make sure. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying like don't do any of these stuff. Go ahead, experiment if you can handle it. If you're not going to get in trouble and regret it the next day, go ahead. But here's the best tip: learn from other people's mistakes. Iceman didn't have to
Don't be
smoke to
stupid.
know. Yes, Iceman didn't have to smoke to know that it's not his thing. Iceman didn't have to drink to know that it's not his thing. He saw people. He would tell me he would see his dad, he would see his brother, he would see people behave differently. He didn't have to learn his way. But for me, I'm the hard-headed guy. I was like, I'll try it, I can do it. What if I hit somebody and it's like vehicular manslaughter? What if just those close calls that I've had back in the day? Would I be here? I would lose how many years of my life in jail? Or what if I fathered a child, out of wedlock or something? I mean, it might not be much to me. My family might support me or whatever, but that child, what if I don't, that child will have to go through life, I don't know, in a complicated situation that it doesn't have to. if I just gave it some thought before I acted. So I
Common
think that's my
sense.
advice to a
Common
lot of the
sense.
kids out there. Learn from other people's mistakes. Every time you watch TV Patrol and you see like a people getting caught for like doing whatever crap, or people getting in an accident and people are saying, or even on Facebook, you find out that someone's car went turned turtle because he drove home drunk, driving the Raptor, and apparently it's a kid of some rich family. Learn from that kid's mistake. Don't be a statistic. I was already
Right.
told that at a young age. Don't be a statistic. If you're going to be a statistic, it better be like top 10 UP graduates or something. It better
Right.
not be like a statistic where, you know, uh, just don't be a statistic. It's better to not have attention than get attention the wrong way, I think.
All
There's
right.
nothing wrong with
Amen.
not being popular,
Amen to
right?
that.
Same with me,
Right.
Rod. When I started in engineering, this is from Patrick. I did not have section mates from Ateneo High School. Most of my Ateneo High School batchmates are in SBG. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Ateneo and engineering if they don't go together. but but that's for sure. I had Stella classmates. I have classmates from Stella in engineering, Stella, women's,
Mhm.
Chinese school, Davao
USB.
Central. I remember. Yes, USP. But I remember a lot of them because I did not really know about the schools too much here. Because, like I said, that was my first year in college. I came from the States. So, and when I first heard somebody say they're from Notre Dame, I actually thought it was Notre Dame, like in the States, because there's a Notre Dame school in the States, or Notre Dame, however you want to pronounce it. But it's a university in the States.
The
And I actually thought, like,
Jangas.
really? It's actually is it in Cotabato or in Jensen? Or both?
That's Jensen. The Jangas. That's like around that
Okay,
area.
Jensen. All right, so
All right.
Jensen.
Okay.
Okay,
High school is
so
more likely enjoy the enjoyable time because that's where your talents will be discovered. Yes, of course. My auntie, who was Miss USP, 1987. She was Miss
wow.
USP, 1987.
Not only
Yes.
pretty but
She
bright,
that title. Yes, of
pretty and
course.
brainy,
She was into
pretty and
dancing.
brainy.
And she was also a CAT officer. Right? She
Wait,
did a lot of things.
USP or USEP?
No, that was USB back then. It became USEP eventually, but back then it was
Oh, so it's the same
USP.
school. Okay, all right,
It's the
all
same
right.
school, and it became USEP. But during her time, it was USP. It
Yeah,
became
then
USEP during our time, I think.
that's a school known for math, right? There's a lot of math specialists
Yeah, it's a
there.
state. It's a state university. A lot of smart people there.
Yeah, yeah. I was invited there once to judge something. I forgot what it was. Really nice students. I don't know why they invited me. I suck at math, but I was invited there. Shara says uni life, more friends, food, sleep, less difficult subjects, except pathophysiology. Yeah, she's a nurse, so you know
Pathophysiology. Holy crap!
that's and speaking of nursing, Patrick said, I feel sorry for students in college where the parents force them in a certain course or degree that they do not want. My wife wanted architecture but was forced to take accountancy. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to take up arts. My mom told me to take up engineering, but she was willing to pay the tuition, so why not? But at the end of the day, I think speaking of nursing, I think when the nursing profession like boomed, dude, I mean, it didn't even matter if you knew how to wipe somebody's butt. It didn't even matter if you like blood or not, or if you could actually stand needles or whatever. People just took up nursing, and I don't know if it's the parents' decision necessarily, or or I do not know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, Kakai when she went to college, nursing wasn't really that. Was it ever considered?
I think it was. It
Because
was. It was really
it was still a,
popular. I mean,
it was still a,
it's
but she
really in
she was
demand.
never like it was never an option for her.
No, I was actually convincing her to be in, like to be in the broadcast industry, and I was like, "Well, do you want to be a broadcaster?" And she did take up mass communications. I think she was interested in. I didn't really like impose it on her. I think that was her choice. So she took up
Yeah.
mass comm. She did a bit of radio, right? And with the law thing right now too. Like I've been encouraging her because back in the day, I really wanted to be a lawyer, but like I told you, I don't think we could afford it. I don't think my parents can afford it. And now that she's in a position where a lot of people can help her realize that dream, and I was like, maybe you should like give it a shot. I mean, you don't really have to be a trial lawyer or whatever. I mean, just be a lawyer and find like a particular branch or whatever you call it, like a particular practice that would suit you. It doesn't have to be criminal law. It could be like business law. It could be whatever. It could be
Yeah.
it could be a teacher,
Corporate law.
like a law professor,
Yeah.
whatever. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just yeah,
She
just
could hang out
try
outside City
try it
Hall
out.
and like notarize documents.
Yeah. I'm not encouraging that, but yeah, I
Attorney,
mean,
attorney,
if you're
attorney,
notarizing like
pinanotary.
big time transactions, then yeah, that can mean a lot of money. But yeah, I mean, that's an option too. So I just
Yeah,
encourage her, and she heeded that advice, and now she's yeah, she's doing it. She's in her junior year, I guess. So yeah, maybe a
yeah. It
couple years,
suits her
and yeah,
personality too. I mean, knowing Kakai, she's perfect for mass comm. She's perfect for broadcasting. She's perfect for any of that stuff. But she's also, I also see her like as like she's spunky. She speaks her mind. She doesn't get pushed around. But she's also lighthearted. So she's not one of those like intimidating kind of people. But she's strong willed enough. To be able to deal with the stress that comes with that. I mean, I wouldn't know a thing or two, but I just grew up in a family of lawyers. But I personally am not. I wanted to be one though. I wanted to be one just to continue the lineage and because of the advantages. Because I think being a lawyer or being a doctor even or whatever, even a policeman. If you come from a family that has already paved the path and you carry the last name. Unfortunately, I don't because the last name of my mom is the one that's from the lawyer background. So
hmm
I don't have that line. My last name's Rodriguez, right? So I'm not carrying my mom's maiden last name. So my dad's not a lawyer. He finished law. He did not take the bar. But if I pursued foreign service, maybe, right? Because then, uy, anak niya na yan. There's always like an easy recall. But I
Yambo
was
yan.
told, yeah, anak niya, ang bayan. But that, walang kwenta yan. Brat yan. The thing is, like, for example,
Abusado,
if you're a
manyakis
son of a
pa.
general, right? Tulad ng tatay. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My dad might be watching. Love you, pa. Anyways, I was just kidding. It's a joke. But like if your dad's a general, like in the PNP or something, or a PMA, and he's like a brigadier general in the army, it would be I'm pretty sure it'll
It would
be
make sense that you
slightly
would follow in
easier
his
path.
footsteps. Yes, I
Yes,
get it.
yes, because it's
Yeah.
an easier path. You have the same last name. He already has connections, and same with lawyers. I guess if your dad's a lawyer and you're the son, or if your dad's a surgeon, you want to be a surgeon. It kind of makes it like an easier thing to do. It's already in the family. Plus, you have the advantage. Like, what if it's like your dad's a dentist or something, or your brother's a dentist? Then you can just use his clinic, right? You can tie up,
Yeah.
right? You see all these
Yeah.
like right
Yeah.
family of doctors that
Makes
have one
sense.
clinic.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Same with the law office.
Family of dentists,
Like,
family of doctors.
yeah, Lucero,
Yeah,
Lucero,
going
Lucero, law office. Lucero, Lucero. Why don't
LLL,
you just use
triple L.
Lucero law office?
I know, right?
I mean, it
Um,
doesn't-
that's stupid. Yeah, people with pride.
I'm
That's what
sure.
happens. People
Yeah,
with
people,
pride. That's what
yeah, right.
happens.
Yung Lucero na yan, yung sa gitna, akin yan. Ako yan.
You're all the same. It's your
I know
last name.
exactly,
And you're all lawyers
but I'm
too.
sure there are law offices that have that. Like literally, maybe they're three siblings or something. They're all lawyers. You can't just put one last name there. They have to include theirs.
I
They
know.
all have the same last name.
And
Kind of crazy.
going back to the thing that we were talking about earlier, about like high school life or whatever, doing something really stupid. Do not let Michael Fahatin cover your shit in the news. That's from Patrick. Yeah, whatever you do, please request. Kahit sino po, wag lang si Michael Fahatin.
Oh, that
Right,
guy was
Pinky?
messed up, man.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Hi. Can I be
Yes.
Oh,
heard?
she's back.
Can I be
Look
heard?
who's back.
Can you guys hear me?
Back again.
Again.
Call
Ladies
a
back.
friend. Look who's
Call a
back.
friend.
Who's back?
Guess who's
Look
back?
who's back.
Guess who's
Look
back?
who's
I feel
back.
so guilty. I feel so guilty. I'm never around. And today, this afternoon,
I
I saw
wasn't-
your post.
Pinky, I
I
wasn't
saw your
around
post.
Saturday. Don't worry.
No, you weren't around just this Saturday, but I'm almost never around. But I saw my name has an asterisk, like she may or may not show up, like in the post.
Yeah, that was the disclaimer.
Like
I just,
there
like, put the
should be
asterisk
like
there.
a little, yeah. But yes,
No, at least the
It's
people
just-
understand, like, all right, so maybe Pinky would
yeah,
be
maybe.
because that would be fraud, right? If I say,
Yeah.
all right, Rod, Iceman, and Pinky, then that
Not
would be
like-
fraud. Like, where's
not,
Pinky?
not like people
Where's
actually
Pinky in this
look
equation?
out for
So at
or
least with the
for like
asterisk, I'm covering
episodes
our
with me in
asses.
it. But yeah,
I think my aunt stopped watching. I think my aunt stopped watching. Like since you were not making regular appearances
Shut
anymore. Like,
up.
I really
No.
no, she doesn't give me feedback anymore. Like I don't get any tips or whatever. Like sometimes I would eat on the show and I'm like,
She gave
you
up.
didn't mess
She
with
gave
me. I'm
up,
eating on the
man. She gave up.
Yeah, she's
He's
like,
like,
Pinky's
I'm
not
just gonna
around.
give up.
Waste of time. These two guys,
What?
waste of time.
No, I sometimes I finish what I'm doing early and I check out your show and you have
I know
such a
that's
nice
why that's why I put an
vibe.
asterisk in it. Like
No,
if
sometimes I
Pinky finishes her
listen
thing earlier,
and
she would
and
be she would be
I
in the
always
show.
hear your shows. They usually you already have this nice vibe and nice thing going on, and I
What are you
decide not to
talking?
join
No,
and
I mean
not
it's a
ruin
different
things.
vibe. I mean it's a
Yeah, there's
vibe, but I mean it's different when you're
I get
around.
Pinky. I get Pinky.
I would say like
Like
it's
when we get
different if
to
you're
our
around.
guy talk. Yeah, I think if it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
we get to our
exactly.
guy talks and Pinky.
No,
But I
like
mean,
you talk about
yeah,
married
is that
life, you talk about your children, your wives, your
It sucks because
frustrations,
who does
we
he
and
need
would
to
want
talk
we want
about?
you
If
around.
you're there in the middle, I wouldn't be talking about married life. That sucks.
That's true.
but yeah.
That's
It's a
true.
tough
Anyway,
That's
topic.
true.
Very depressing.
Okay, go
so
ahead. Make up
what
for your absence. So talk about high school life and uni life for you,
Michael
and which one you
Fahatin?
prefer.
Oh, I thought you wanted
No,
me
no,
to
Well,
not
no,
talk
I
that.
mean we
to
were
No,
talking
that.
about like
Michael
if
Fahatin.
you're like doing stupid shit, and so Patrick's saying like whatever you do not
I
let Michael Faden cover your shit in the news. That would be
nag-disperse
terrible.
sila
Good advice.
at
Good
sila ay
advice.
nag-disperse. Siya ba yun? Was that him? The
Yeah, yeah.
nag-disperse guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Sila.
him.
Sila ay nag-disperse. At
Nag-away
Tapos
sila sa
sila ay
simula.
at
that
hindi
is a
nagkabuluhan.
classic.
At
I
nag-away
would,
naman
you
sila
know,
sa simula.
if given the chance,
Nag-away na naman sila sa simula. At sa simula nag-away. At nag-away na sa simula. What the
but
heck is that
honestly,
guy's
I
problem?
would want his autograph and I would want my photo taken with him. He is so cool. Like he's
I think
a
he is.
classic. You know,
He
like
is,
he's
he
an
is, he is, he
icon.
is, he is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
okay, he's that guy. He's that guy. I can relate. I can relate with this guy, right?
yeah.
I mean, at some point in our lives, we are broadcasters, right? At some point in
Oh,
our
yeah, I've
lives,
done a
well, I
lot
don't
of
know
dumb
about
stuff
you,
on
right?
air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
about you, but I
yeah,
did a
yeah.
lot of stuff and
Yeah.
said a lot of dumb shit on the radio.
Mm.
And sometimes they're like, "Oh, did it make sense? What was that about?" Or like I stutter. I
You leave the
I'm
mic
kind of,
on.
I'm
Have you,
slugging.
we
Yeah, a
all
lot of
left the
stuff
mic
like
on,
that,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes
I
you just say
left.
things
There
that
was
doesn't
this
really
one
make sense.
time that I sang off, like I thought it was off air, and turns out I was on air, and I was singing, and our manager was like making faces at the window, like shut up, like you're on air. Or was it? Yeah, somebody knocked on the door and said, "Thinks your mic is on. You should stop singing because it's horrible." But yeah, I sang live on air. I didn't
You heard
know I
about
was
this?
doing it.
You heard about this urban legend, right? Not an urban. I think it was true, but apparently, I don't know if it's a DJ from our network, from our network of stations. But I forgot who told me the story. I think it was Joe or one of the, I don't know who he was, but apparently one of the DJs, he was on board, and I think during that time, the city of where that station was kept experiencing brownouts, power outages, right? And one time he
Right.
was like doing the news, reading off a
Mhm.
newspaper or something,
Got cut off.
and the
Yeah.
light came off, and he goes, "Lolo, brownout." And apparently it was just the light that malfunctioned. He was still on here, and since the light came off, he goes, "Lolo, brownout." Like literally, he was
out
heard
of-
on here.
Out of all the things that he could have said, it was that.
Yeah, like can you imagine him speaking in English the whole time? Okay, in the news, yeah, showbiz news, yeah, blah 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 blah. And boom, the light comes off, and it's like been experiencing it like probably the whole week. The whole week. So he probably
That's
immediately
sad.
assumed that it was another brownout.
Okay, you have to be honest. Who was it? That was you, wasn't it? That was you.
No, I don't use that.
Under
That's
under
not
the
part of my
guise of some-
vocabulary. Dude, do I look like I say LL?
You
Urban
just
legend.
did multiple times.
Yes.
I feel like
Okay, all
out
right,
of
all
the
right, I
two
just
of-
did.
out of the
But it
two of
wasn't
you,
me.
I think Iceman would have been more prone to saying.
No,
it
it wasn't
or
nice.
doing
It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice.
Was
It wasn't
it you,
anybody
Ice?
from our. It wasn't from our station. It was from our sister station, I think. One
No,
of
the
our
first
sister
the
stations.
first thing I would do
we
is
have-
run out. That's my first react. That would be my first reaction.
Okay,
At
The
this
lights
point,
went
yeah,
on,
that's
I would
right.
run out.
did any of us actually read the news off a newspaper?
No.
No, right?
E-
Exactly.
even when-
so that's got to be from
even-
another station. Right?
Even when I had to do the news, like there
we
there
had
were
the
times
internet
when really
back
had to
then.
do the news.
yeah, we had the internet, and we
You-
would
we
condense
use
it.
the-
We would condense. We would read it word
Yeah,
for
we
word.
were like really
Yeah, we
short.
have
you know.
computers.
Or
we
like-
could read it
or
through
like
the
take
computer, so that was
inspiration
fine.
from Dan O'Day, like the
Right,
bits
yes,
that he
yes,
has.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Right.
bullpen something, bullet, whatever.
Yeah,
bull news,
something
whatever.
like that. It's been a while,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. So you guys are
Yeah,
talking about high
it's still
school.
limited.
We're
High
talking about
school
like
Yeah,
high
yeah,
versus
school versus
university.
uni life. What's the difference? And we kind of like spiral into talking about like what we really wanted to do. And I think Shara was saying that she really wanted to be a math teacher, but I think she
Oh
ended up
wow.
becoming a nurse. Is it? Is she a nurse?
she's
Then
a nurse.
Joy,
Yes,
like Kapoy mag-nurse. Of course it is, dude. I mean, you
Joey
have
is
to
a
take care
nurse.
of sick people, right? I mean,
Yeah,
well, you take care
Joey
of
is a
people. You nurse people. That's
Is
what you do.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it takes a
I,
certain level of dedication, like completely selfless, act when you're
yeah.
talking about
You know,
nurses.
you know what are the toughest things they go through? My wifey, would always tell me, stories after work, and
Mm,
she comes home kind of. It's not necessarily the taking care of the patients; it's the
mm,
dealing with the watchers, the toxic
really?
relatives. Everybody when they have a patient in the hospital and they're paying, they immediately have this entitlement, and the one who gets bullied are the nurses. They're the ones who get,
True.
ba't wala yung doctor? Ba't wala yung ano? Oh, umubo na yung ano ko, hindi pa nagagamot, di pa. They always deal with that kind of stress. So they're kind of almost like call center agents, except it's face to face. And my wife is like, she said many times she would like cry in the corner
Oh
because
shoot.
she would get stuff thrown at her by the wife of the patient or the
That's
power tripping
crazy.
relative. And there's nothing she could do about it because she doesn't have the
Wow,
authority
thank
to
God my
act
mother did
upon.
not become a nurse.
My
Yeah.
brother
So
is a
my wife said
nurse.
that's the stressful part.
My brother
That's more
is
of the
a
stressful part.
he's a nurse. He's a male nurse, so I don't think he was subjected to that kind of abuse. Like,
Yeah.
they think twice, but maybe getting all
They
up in
get
his face.
bullied.
But
And if you
yeah,
only know how much they were getting paid, like the local
dude,
nurses
that's
here, oh
that's what
my
I was
god.
saying, because he had to be transferred to the ER during the pandemic, like I think last year during like the kasagsagan, because they were super short staffed. So my mom was at that point where she was like, okay, how much do you earn per day? I will double it, just resign, because
Yes.
it's not
It's not
worth
worth it.
like risking your life for. People
Yeah.
people are people were like acting really really crazy last year, and you can't blame them. It's a pandemic. People lost their lives.
Yeah.
Their family
Yeah.
members are stuck in the hospital, and everybody was just so intense. So yeah, but my brother was like, no, this is what I signed up for, this is what I have to do. And thankfully, and
Yeah.
he had like one patient who didn't disclose that he had exposure to someone with a history of travel in one of the countries that at that time was having a surge in cases, and he was actually exposed to someone positive, and he had to be
I didn't get
quarantined
it.
and
Man.
stuff.
I didn't get it.
He didn't get it,
Yeah.
but it was
That's
just
crazy.
crazy times for, I think, not just nurses but all medical and frontliner people. It's a testament to their dedication, to their craft, their skill, their work, their
Absolutely.
passion. Actually, yeah,
Absolutely.
true.
That's one of
Okay,
one of the
heavy
places
stuff.
that I hate to be at the most. I mean, okay,
Yes,
just to
that's
close
true.
this out. One of the places
Yeah,
that I hate to be at the most is a hospital. I
that's
mean,
right.
Mhm.
That's true.
I don't. I mean, the only happy moment there is if your child's being born. But then again, still, you want to be out of there because if you're staying long in the hospital, it might be like something's
Mm,
wrong with your child. You know what I'm saying? They're getting more tests done,
true.
so it's still a stressful situation. So for me, it's like it's never a
Oh,
good day when I'm in the
is it
hospital.
is it
Like,
segue? Is it raining where you are?
no, not
Oh,
here.
it's raining really, really hard. That's so weird.
Oh, really? You live
Yeah, it's
in the
raining
well?
crazy
Do
hard.
you live in the Philippines?
Yes, I do. I do. And it starts with
Well,
an M and
it's
ends with an A.
probably
It's
it's
coming your
probably
way.
going
Yeah,
just
it's
okay.
it's
Yeah,
headed
all right.
headed there. I think so.
Because it rained
And
last night. It rained
yeah,
hard last night,
it
right?
rained. It rained. Apparently, it did. I don't know. I slept early,
Yeah,
so I can't really say. But
yeah.
yes.
It rained hard last night.
Oh, we have a
Yeah.
comment.
So, yeah. I
Uh,
think Joe Boy's saying exactly about the toxic thing that the nurses deal with, the watchers and the relatives and
mm,
the people who are stressed. Because I understand they're stressed out, but man, can you just imagine the nurses? Like if you're the only one doing the rounds,
mm.
and then you get somebody like yelling in your face, "Asan yung doktor? What about? Palitan na ng diaper yung ano ko, blah, 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 blah." And you're literally like, you're doing your 11 to 7, or you're doing your 7, no, 3 to 7, and then no 3 to 11, and then the next nurse can't make it, so you have to do
Late.
the
Yeah.
11
Or
to
oh
7,
shoot.
and then you have somebody doing that to you, so you have no sleep. You've been running around administering medicines. You have no sleep. See, here's the thing. We all have a different perspective of things, of people, of their careers, of their work situations, until we have a relative in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like
That's right.
like we all like right? If it's a or you yourself, like we all have like DJs mayayabang. Di malaman mo sweldo pala ganyan lang, you know. You have to make do what okay, you realize okay, let's be nicer to them. Nurses, mga feeling but then you realize you only get paid that
Naaway
much
na ba
because you're married
tayo?
to
Hindi
one.
pa, we, I don't remember ever
Naaway na ako
experiencing.
many times. I've gotten phone calls. I've gotten
Really?
phone calls from white guys or at least American
What?
guys, you know? Yeah, over songs. Yeah, over comments I would make after a song. I've been called an idiot, you
Seriously?
know, because of an ad lib I made. Yeah,
Oh
I usually get that.
no.
Like a guy would call me because I think what we miss out on is that
Is it just one person? Is it just one person
no,
calling
it's
you
not.
about
It's not. It's not. It's not.
Oh
It's not.
wow.
But I usually like I know if it's a white guy or not. You know, I know. I know if it's a white guy or not. Because I even Pinoys who speak like white guys, I know if it's a Pinoy. There's just a
Mm.
certain voice tone. This guy was a white guy, like a redneck white guy. And what we miss out on sometimes is that we're one of the few stations in the city that white people or American people can actually listen to, right?
Right.
So it's no surprise if they're in their car, they will. What are the odds? Very high odds that they'll be picking our station. So sometimes when we do our ad libs and we speak from like a different perspective, and they get offended. And I said something about 9/11, I think, after the Green Day
Oh.
song I played, which was American Idiot. I played American
Mm.
Idiot. And I said something, and I wasn't directing it at the Bush administration. And this guy apparently was probably like a Bush fan or whatever. He calls me up and like starts yelling at my, you're the idiot. You don't get it. You know what that song's about? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I wasn't even giving you my opinion about the song. I was just sort of stating what
Well,
Green Day
apparently it's
was
about
doing.
you, Dick. Boom. That's what I would
you
have
would
said.
done.
Yeah, I would have done
You
that.
know, you know what Billy Kane would have done? Hi, yeah, sure. Okay, we can talk about it. Yes, you want me to bring you food? I'm Billy
You know what
Kane.
that's always all about? Yeah, it's about you. Boom.
See, we all have different personalities. We all have
Mm.
different person. I don't think Ice would do that. I don't think Ice. You would you do that? Would you slam the
But
phone on the guy?
it depends. It depends on my mood at that particular time. But yeah,
I always got the
I would love to
breather
stick it to
though.
him.
Did you guys
What?
get the breather? The breather, like
No,
it goes
no,
like,
no,
and
no.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Pinky,
Like,
you're
yeah.
a woman. Okay, you have that
I was
sultry
thinking,
bedroom voice.
I was
So
thinking he was just
pervs will call
asthmatic
you.
or something.
Pervs will
Yeah.
call you. Pervs will
It,
call
Have you
you.
ever
it
heard
was
that?
weird.
Pluck, 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 pluck. Pinky, you're a woman. You have that bedroom voice. You're doing your board time.
The
Guys will
funny thing is,
fantasize about you. It
that's just
happens.
messed up
You're
shit.
public property.
Honestly, it was just
And if I
somebody
was
calling
you, if
and
I
just
was,
breathing.
and if I was you, I would be like, "Am I making you hot?"
No, I actually said, "Are you okay?" Because I thought it was just somebody hyperventilating at the other end. Like they were just breathing. That was it. That was
I would
just
mess with the
somebody
guy. Are you
He was
touching yourself
wanking
right
off.
now?
Oh, dude. That's
Dial
nasty.
1-800, get me hot. 99 cents for each additional minute.
Onlyfans.com.
Hold on.
You know what?
I gotta wipe
Do
my
not
son's butt.
don't. Oh, what? He was gonna what? His wife?
I gotta-
His wife's butt?
Yeah,
His son's butt.
yeah.
Which
I would
son
assume
are we
Rye.
talking about? Which?
Rye.
Okay.
It's probably Rye, not Raj.
Okay.
I'm sure
I
Raj can
hope
wipe his
it
own
is.
butt.
He's a
this
big
point in
boy
his
now.
life.
He's a very smart kid. Yeah, but
All right.
honestly though, I don't think I ever picked fights with anyone back when we were doing the radio thing. I know for a fact you told us that you had some sort of issue, but I think it just went and left after my shift, like just did my job and left. That is actually my mindset when it comes to going to school, whether it's like post grad or university or high school.
Right,
Just
right.
just turn in your assignments, hand it over, take the task, take the class, and be done with it.
You're
Don't
too busy to pay attention to these people. I am not. You know what I'm saying? So me, I would make patol. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, you want that? All right, let's do it. So I'm that type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
so
I mean, if
you're
I
you're
had a
very
lot
confrontational.
of-
Are you saying you're confrontational?
it really depends. I mean, sometimes I could let it slide, and I'm like, all
Mm.
right, whatever. But then there are times that I'm like, all right, no, I mean, I can't let this go. I mean, all right, you want to get into this? All right, fine, let's do it. And yeah, and I would like I
So
would see it through.
na-challenge ka
I
kasi
would see it through.
hinahamon ka. Mm-mm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not really that I was challenged, but it was more of like, all right, let me mess with this guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, me, I'm not picon. I'm not picon. I'm like, all right. I mean, you're trying to get me, you know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to
Yeah.
get to me. in a sense,
Yeah, yeah.
or in a way that they just want to ruin my day. I'm like, oh, all right, you want to do that? All right, I can do worse because if you think you're annoying, I'm more annoying. All right, you don't know how annoying I can get. So I would just like just provoke people and just like all right, and they would like get really annoyed and they lose their shit and they you know what I'm saying? Like all right, you lost your shit, whatever.
So you
So
got into
yeah,
fights with people when you were on air?
no. Like there were people that
In
I
general. This is in
in
general.
general, it was like okay. In general, there would be people. Like, okay, it depends, right? There would be
Yeah.
people who would be with haters. It was more of like I didn't really care. It's always like I got the mic, you don't. Whatever, deal with it. It was always like that. And if they get into my nerves, I would just like, all right. Especially if they text me, I would just like, all right, people, help me out here. There's this guy bugging me tonight. I would just like give the phone number out like on air
What?
and people would I would ask people to just like and I now I realize like oh that wasn't smart. I mean I shouldn't have done that, but I did that before because they were like
You know,
texting
you
me
know,
a lot of
you know what
like
Ice likes
stupid
to
shit, so I
do?
was like all right, let's do this.
Stir the pot.
It's there.
He likes to
Yeah.
stir the pot. That's the guy. He likes to stir the
Yeah.
pot,
So
and he's
but it
not
happened.
picon. I agree with him. He's not picon.
I gave out the numbers and like eventually they just like text call I don't know what they did, but well I gave it out.
Ooh,
That
it's
was it.
raining really hard. That's so
It
weird.
is.
Yeah,
It's
it's
It
raining
is.
not,
It
really
is.
it's
I
hard.
not
can hear it
raining
from
It
here.
is.
here
I
yet.
can
You
hear
guys
it.
hear
I
it?
can hear it.
Yeah, that's so
I
weird.
can hear it. Yes.
I mean, it's not weird that it's raining. It's
I
normal
can't
for
hear
it
it.
to rain, but it just went like bam. Like it
But
started.
you're in the
so
basement,
abruptly.
right?
No, I'm now on the second floor.
in the attic. She's in the attic.
Okay.
No,
That's why
I'm not.
we can hear everything.
How
I'm in
many
the room.
floors is your house? I mean,
3.
including the basement. Yeah, same with
3.
Ice. Ice, you also have
Mm.
3 floors, right, Ice?
No. I have like I have a second floor. That's it. I don't have a basement.
Okay. All
It's
right.
not a thing here in Japan.
But
Basement's
but
not a
there's
thing.
that separate part of the house, right? There's that
Yeah,
like
there's
separate
another
part of
house
the
over
house.
there.
There's like a
Yeah,
house
yeah, yeah.
It's like a sort of
inside,
a different,
or outside the other house, but in one
yeah,
one
it's like
lot.
kind of connected. Like it's like, but it's connected, all right? There's like a hallway. So it's it's still
Well,
like
hold on.
one house.
Speaking of our topic, we all went to the same university, right? We
We
all went
did.
Yeah.
to.
We
Yes,
did.
we
We
Oh,
did.
okay. I
We
was
did. We
I
did.
was I wasn't sure where
Was
I
it was
went.
it Comarts during your time, or was it already mass communications?
It was
Which one is it?
Masscom,
Comarts?
mass
Just
communication.
Masscom already? Because we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have Masscom.
Masscom.
We had communication
Comarts.
arts. That was it. It wasn't Masscom. But during your time, it was already Masscom.
Yeah, it was already Masscom. My
He
degree
was
is
communication arts major in Mascom.
BA AB Masscom. Yeah,
Maybe
that's
Masscom, right?
yeah. But it,
Because I
it
think
it's
during our time, it's ABCA, AB
not to
Communication
not
Arts.
to well discourage college students or applicants or would be students, but Masscom is it for me. I took it because I was really confused, like which course to take, and I wanted to take something easy, and it was crazy easy, like pwede mong tulugan. But I think it depends on your how do you say it? Because some people found it difficult because there's a lot of like extemporaneous speaking. It depends on the subject. But the thing is, if that's what you're into and you want a
Right.
college
That's what I was
degree,
saying earlier.
that's something that you can take with like your hands tied behind your back and your eyes closed, and you'd still graduate with a degree
Yeah,
after 4
you'd be
years.
fine with it. That's what I was
Because
saying. Like if
it
people
doesn't have
are
math,
computers, right?
doesn't have a lot of science subjects.
True,
I think it's
true.
just like for the first semester or first year of
Mm-hmm.
your 4 years. So it's a very
But you
doable
had to
course.
translate. You're given a news article and you have to translate it in Bisaya, Tagalog, and English, right?
Well,
Did you
I
have to
didn't
do
Set
go.
it
that?
in three.
I didn't. I
No,
don't.
because
I don't think.
no, no,
I
because
had to do that.
I have an ex girlfriend who took a mass comm, and like during her third
Mm.
year or fourth year, I think we were together already, so I would be hanging out with her, and then I remember they did their what's their thesis? What is it called?
Thesis.
The your like last presentation, your project, like you're supposed to do a docu or something, like you're supposed
Oh,
to do like
during
a
our
topic like
time,
treat
it was.
children. I think it's called docu. Was it? Was it called docu
Yeah,
or
we
something?
had to come up with an ad, a short film, and a documentary. So the documentary
Yeah,
was
they
the
did. Like,
longest. Yeah.
did you do your practicum or at least one of those like exposure things at like
Yes.
Sunstar or something?
Yes, I
Right?
did. I did. That's when I experienced like that. I actually did cherish my experience there because it gives you an idea of being a journalist entails. Like
Yeah, you're like in
you.
this room with these writers, right? They're like typing, smoking a
Well, in
cigarette, like
my
in the middle of the
case,
night.
they made me. I think I was somehow a beat reporter. Like they would send me to the city jail to cover
Oh,
stories,
geez.
and go to. I was asked to go to a government office
Okay,
for a
question.
statement. And then the funny thing is when
By
you're,
yourself.
yeah, by myself, yeah. And the thing is they point you to different like government offices. You have to like you want a statement from them, and they say, ay dili mi pwede mo dili na amo dito ra ka itry ra. And when you get there, you're like, ay dito na sa pikas. And that's the
Right,
hardest part.
right.
Like you're just being
Yeah.
tossed around. That's, I
It's the same
think.
thing with processing a document.
You have to go
Yes.
there, and then
Yeah.
when you get there, you plug it in their
Assessor's
department.
office, dili, dito
But
pa
all
ta
right,
sa kwan,
the other question:
register of
why did they
deeds.
say beat reporter? What does that mean when you say beat? Does it stand for something? BEAT or BEET?
Beat.
Beat like BEAT? Is that what it is? Beat
No, I
like
think it's
heartbeat?
BEAT.
BEAT. It's BEAT. Yeah,
All right,
BEAT.
so
Yeah.
beat reporter. Why is it beat? Well, like what's why do you call like these people beat reporters? Like beat police
Are you
officers,
sure
right?
it's
Like
not
they
bit
have those.
reporter? Like it's just a short
Like,
report?
so
I
why?
think
Well,
it's
why is it beat? What
I
the
I think
why do
I
you
think
say
it's
beat?
I think it's in reference to that kind of reporting and it being routinary. Like it's a routine that you follow. It's a steady pace, a rhythm, a beat. You're assigned to a certain sector. Like if you're covering crimes, you end up talking to the same people, the same bunch
Yeah.
of sectors, orgs, offices, institutions. So there, you have a familiarity with that field
All
of
right,
whatever it is
because
you're
I've heard that
assigned to.
before, like beat reporter, beat
Yeah,
cop.
me
But
too. Beat
I'm not
news.
a
Yeah,
I'm
beat
not
cop. Yeah,
a
beat cop. I heard that.
I'm not a journalist, so I don't take my word for it. But that's how I understood it.
Pink.
Pink,
Patrick has a
did
question for
you
you.
participate in the student radio in Ateneo? I remember there was a time slot in a certain radio station that caters to Ateneo. Yes, they did. They did. But the funny thing was, I started working at the radio station we used to work for when I was in sophomore. And I asked them to let me have my actual job credited for the hours because that served as our practicum, the
Right.
radio station that
Well,
Ateneo
you had
ran.
an actual radio job.
Yeah, and the thing is, I couldn't perform as another DJ for another radio station because I was under contract with
Yes,
our
of
station,
course.
right? So the thing is, they
They
wanted me
agreed
to
to it, right?
add, they wanted the radio station of the school wanted me to do the job of a DJ, which I couldn't do. So I ended up just writing stuff like for them. Like somebody else would have to VO it, but for me, because they wouldn't credit my hours, my actual work hours from the radio station that I actually work for.
Wow, they were
So they,
assholes.
well, not really. It's just that I think that's in the curriculum that they
Okay.
have to render. You have to
No, no,
render
no. All right,
service
right,
at.
yeah. No, like back then, people who were actually working, um, the department would credit
Mm,
it because they're actually doing an actual job.
yeah,
And on the job training, it's like a job training. I mean, dude, it overpowers if you
it's more
have an
than
actual job, right?
the.
You're not in training. You're actually doing the damn job.
That's the thing that I was trying to tell them. Like I don't need
Yeah, they were being
to
assholes.
render extra jobs because I'm doing a
That's what they
harder
did.
job for my actual job. Because I mean, back then we had to write our own pieces, we had to edit stuff when we had to, and everything was live. In my case, in Rod's
Yeah,
case,
they
our show
twisted
was
your arm.
live.
They twisted
Yeah.
your arm because I think they really wanted you to be in their sucky or whatever like that
No,
radio
no,
station is.
no, no.
They wanted you to
I
be
don't think
there.
so. Who
They
am
want somebody
I
who's
to be?
legit.
I mean,
No, I
I
mean
didn't
they want
really.
someone who's legit. I'm pretty sure that those people who tried to work there were like, all right, yeah,
No,
you know
but
what
the
I'm
fun.
saying.
It was also kind of fun for me because my classmates got to perform because I realized that a lot of people want to become DJs, and
Mhm.
we're blessed with that opportunity back then. But for I think it's a great opportunity for mass comm students to try and be a DJ even for just
Right.
a semester. That was a fun experience, but it was a lot. I mean, I was doing a harder job or a harder set of responsibilities for Killer B than the Ateneo radio station, but I had to do it because it was graded. So there's that.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you're like
that's
you're
sad.
professional level already, right? I mean, you're
Right.
professional level. You're doing like voiceover work. I
I
mean,
know. That's what I was saying. To
you were
supersede on the job
same
training, whatever,
level.
the internship.
Yeah, you're like same
Yeah,
level.
but
Just
You're
actually
you
doing the
you kind
job.
professional.
of, yeah, I didn't really have a way around it. I had to do it because it was a requirement for graduation. But I talked to the manager about it, our manager, and he was really cool. He was real cool about it. He understood that it was a grade thing. So I didn't have to. Everything was canned, by the way. Everything, they don't do it on air, like live on air. Back in my day. I don't know now how they do things, especially during the
You mean
pandemic.
the
But
radio shows?
yeah, the radio shows for the school, it was canned. Everything was canned, and I think I was just the voice. I was just the breaker, like the
Yeah.
music of blah 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 blah. I was just that. I never had to.
Right.
I never did the. Oh,
See,
it's
so it's
raining
not
again,
really
really
an
hard.
actual
Kind of like
radio because it's
kind of
canned.
like Chow King. Didn't Chow King have its own radio station? Like Chow King
Yeah,
Radio. Like
and
if you had Chow
National
King, like
Bookstore.
it's all
National
canned.
Bookstore. There's always this lady that goes National Bookstore Radio, and like they play whatever songs, but
Yeah.
it's National
Yeah, yeah,
Bookstore
yeah.
Radio. I think that was really cool for them to
We
do.
have that here
Cool.
too.
Yeah.
Really?
Opita Radio. And they're so
Well,
old
what?
school.
What is it
Opita
called?
Radio. Apita. It's like it's a sort of it's a chain. It's
What is
not a
it?
mall. It's a sort of mall.
Like a
It's not like
department
those
store?
big malls. Like Eon's like a big
Oh,
mall.
it's never-
Apita is like a department store mall type of like business. So it's called Apita. And they have that thing like
Hey,
sometimes I
didn't
go there, it's
Victoria
like
Plaza
Opita
have one of
Radio
those things
Station.
too? Didn't they?
I
no,
know.
they
I
just
just know
had-
they played
J-
jingles.
No,
JS
no,
JS
they-
They
Gaisano
they
played
did.
just-
jingles.
JS
I,
Gaisano
I
did.
remember doing VOs for Victoria Plaza back then.
Hey, me too.
and-
Me too.
Yeah,
We
it
all
was-
Those
did.
live reporting.
We all did.
We all did live reporting.
I was
they-
always
draws.
hosting their Christmas
raffle draws.
raffle. I don't know why they would always get me.
Yeah, I did
would
it
be
too.
doing
kinda
the
miss
raffle
it.
draw,
I did it a lot.
right? With those
Christmas
ladies
raffle.
wearing the Santa costume, the sexy
Yeah.
ladies. They're wearing
Right,
the
yeah.
boots. They look like majorettes. I'm like,
They,
and there's a DTI representative, and you're like, and this was a time when there was a Pacquiao fight. It was Pacquiao de la Hoya.
oh man,
I was at Victoria Plaza, and I was like, "Oh my god, get this over with already! Like, I want to get this done." And you know what I was getting updates from? I was getting updates from Judge back then, Attorney T.
what?
Judge
Yeah.
T. He was texting me round by round. Rod, De La Hoya looks like he's,
Oh,
he's not
shoot.
fast enough. Oh, second, so I was checking my phone all the time. Right? And Judge T was giving me the blow by blow because I was hosting the Christmas raffle. I remember, I
Oh,
think it was
no.
December, obviously, when the Pacquiao fight happened. But
Yeah, but I kind of missed that job.
anyway,
It was fun. It was like the hourly thing. Like I think they did it by hour. Like there's a sale at a specific hour, and then you have to.
Well, you
do
have
it
to be
again
there.
for
Like,
50
yes, it's like at the 45th, right? Like exams at 45th. Then you have to be back.
You know what I was?
So this
you
is
know
what
what I
did.
was
I would
really
like walk
salty
around and come
about?
back.
One
What?
particular one particular popular food chain asked me to do their like live reporting for the opening of one of their branches, and I left. When I left, I asked for my TF, and I was told it's fine. We'll just send it via your station, and they never did. But they sent me like a ton of chicken and like some whatever else that they sold, and then I never got the TF for like
Huh. Did,
for
did you
that
talk
live.
about it beforehand?
Yeah,
Did you
I
agree
wouldn't.
to a certain
I
amount?
wouldn't-
Did you like? All right, it's like 2,000.
Yes,
it's like
I was
3,000.
I was told I'd get like money. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, it was 5 a.m. Who would voluntarily get out to do live VOs at 5 a.m? But I think I got it after a month because I pestered and pestered everyone about it. Like, I'm not gonna let this go. I let go
Well,
of
you
a lot
should've.
of things, but I
You
had to
should've.
wake up at like
That's your
4:30 for
money.
this.
You work for
So,
that shit.
Yeah, I got like a lot of chicken. I mean, I'm talking a lot of chicken. Everybody got like some sort of chicken part.
Who cares about the
When I
chicken?
got back-
You want the money.
Yeah,
All right,
but
I mean, chicken's good, but I need money.
yeah, cash is better. Yes, cash is better. But yeah, hold on.
I remember
talking about high
Picky's
school.
voiceover advertisement for a donut shop.
Did I
back
do
in
a
the day.
donut shop? Did I
Did
do
you
a
do
donut
Dunkin'
shop?
Donuts or a donut shop? I don't know.
I
Which donut shop?
remember. I remember doing a popcorn ad. Like it ran
Patrick,
for
are
a
you sure
while.
it's not a popcorn? Are you sure it's
I'm
a
not
donut?
sure I did a donut shop.
All right, CJ's
can-
talking about like not having the best high school.
I didn't have the
experience.
best. How old is CJ? What
He's in high
what
school.
year? What and right now?
I think he's 16. Is he 16 or 15?
Rod, are you
15,
still with
16.
us? Rod?
yes, I am. I'm just
Rod?
like I'm negotiating with somebody. It's a business.
Yeah,
But anyways,
guitar.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm selling my guitar. CJ says,
Why?
uh,
16.
because
CJ 16.
I
You're
could say I
gonna
didn't have the
upgrade?
best high school. I remember Pinky. No. I can only like have one guitar at a time. So that's what I usually do. Like if I have something, if I get something new, I sell the old one. My family knows that about me. So
All right.
like if I get like a PS5, I have to sell the PS4. I'm not
Why
like you
not?
where I keep everything.
I hoard
I know
things.
you. You keep
That's-
everything.
Yeah, I hoard things. I can't
Hoarder?
let go.
Yeah.
I can't let go. I have a drawer
Ah,
full of cell phones.
Cello's
Old cell
Donuts.
phones.
Did you do that?
What's
Cello's Donuts.
Cello's
What?
Donuts? What Cello's
Cello's
Donuts?
What is he talking
no
about?
idea.
What is he talking about?
Patrick
I remember
remembers
that.
Pinky doing a donut commercial.
Oh yeah, I
Yes,
think I
the
remember
tiny
doing
ones.
that. Yeah.
They're
I
tiny.
get it.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah,
locally
yeah.
made. Those were good donuts. Those
Yes,
were good
those were
donuts.
good. I think we got
Okay,
samples
hold
of those
on.
too.
I think we met the owners too. Like it was like a
Yeah.
lady or
I
something,
Was
think
it?
right?
oh no, I
No,
was
no.
visiting.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
when they
Rod
gave
and
out-
I got bonchon. We got bonchon. We
Yeah,
were
we
the
did, we
first
did, we
few
did, we did.
people to
Yes,
ever
we,
have
inter-
bonchon.
we interviewed
Yeah.
the owner of Bonchon, the
Yeah,
owner
yeah.
of the franchise in the
we
Philippines.
were like,
That's some young
"Oh!"
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was really young. He
I
was really young.
remember. Yes, the
Yeah.
Bonchon when he
That was
came
during,
here. I was
I
like,
think,
All right.
our
Yes,
afternoon
Cello's
show.
Donuts.
Wow,
Right, you did
Gab
it.
has really good memory. I don't even remember.
I know
Probably
Jello's
because
donuts. I'm like, man, I wouldn't even remember that. Like, I
the
wouldn't
the
remember
ad that
that.
I remember best is the Lindons, where I laugh like a lunatic because that laugh was supposed to be edited out.
I
But
didn't- I didn't do very many ads. I did
They
you do any
tricked you.
ads? Like, what ad did you, what? I didn't do very many ads either.
I didn't.
I would just
No,
write the
no, I
script,
didn't
but I
do.
didn't.
I
You
did
know,
a
do a lot of
ton.
ads. I don't think my voice is for ads.
I
What they
didn't
did
like
was they
doing
sent me
ads
to a
too.
lot of. They
Ice,
sent me
my
to a
voice
lot of,
isn't for
hosting
ads.
gigs.
Trust
That
me,
was
but
my
I was
thing.
the only girl
No,
for
I
like
think you have that.
10 years.
So I think the station
So-
realized that, so they didn't give me any like voiceover jobs, but they sent me to a lot of freaking hosting jobs,
Yeah.
freaking live reporting things. Like I would be at SM, then I would have another thing at Victoria Plaza. I don't know if they realized that, but I just didn't care. I'm like, all right, fine,
It
because
was
I love
money.
doing it.
It was,
Yeah,
it
I
was
love
free,
doing it too.
It was free
So I would go
exposure.
to
Yeah,
SM,
yeah.
then I would
Good
go
money.
to Victoria, and I didn't care, so it was fine.
I think you were the perfect guy to do it too, because Ice was always like he was patient. He liked being live. You know, he
Yeah.
cherished meeting new
He
people.
liked being around
And he-
people. Yeah.
Yes, he liked being around people, and
Yeah,
he
I
was
didn't
very
care. I liked
personable.
that.
Like he
Right.
could like talk to
True.
like he wouldn't feel the weight. Me, I'm like very impatient. Like if I go to SM and they have an event and the celebrity's not there yet, and I'm like crap. Like I'm only getting how much for this. I'm always like I'm not
It's not
really.
worth it.
Ice would
Yeah,
like
it's not
find a
worth the
way to
wait.
entertain himself. He would talk to the marketing people.
I would-
he would like hang out.
Yeah, I would talk to the
you
marketing
know,
people. I would
he's
hang
that
out with
guy.
the
So
sound
you were perfect
technicians.
for it.
They became my good friends.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
every time I go to
yeah.
SM, I became
The
good
pro
friends with
line,
them.
the pro
And they
line
would be like,
guys,
yeah,
right?
they'd be like, oh, we
That's
have a
pro
new
line,
mic.
right?
Really? You show me the mic.
Yeah, the pro
You know,
line.
like showing off
Yeah.
Ice,
to
are you
my
wearing
new
a vest, Ice? Is it cold there? Are you wearing a vest?
No,
Oh,
that's
it's
the
a
color
shirt.
of his polo shirt.
I was like, why is he wearing a winter vest? I thought you were wearing a
you,
vest.
thought it, you thought it was like
It
it's
looks
like
a vest. It's
I
because
get
of
what
the
you mean.
color. It's because of the
Oh,
color,
it's a
right?
color. Yeah, it's a color.
Like, so I- like,
Yeah, no, it's covered by the
Oh,
mic
shit.
because it was covered by the mic.
Right,
That's
yeah.
right.
So you were
That's
thinking it's
right.
like a V vest, like
I thought it was like a
No, it's
winter
not, it's
vest,
not.
like something you zip
yeah,
up.
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
winter vest.
Kind of looks
But,
like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not winter yet though.
Yeah.
Right, so
I know. I was
Not
confused. Like,
wearing it.
isn't it
Not yet.
like still not winter there yet? But yes, true that. Good luck on your guitar, Rod. Hopefully, you can find a good buyer who will take care of it.
yeah. I'm
Don't
not,
you ever
I'm
feel
not the type
bad?
of guy who's like, I'm not in a hurry though. Like I'm not.
Yeah, but the thing is,
with,
don't,
with,
don't
with
you
getting
want
rid of stuff.
don't you want your guitar to go to someone good, like someone who will treat it and cherish it really well, or do you like
You-
whatever?
you know,
it's not
I-
mine anymore. Do whatever you want with
I
it.
have no control over it. That's a good topic, by the way. You can have that, like letting go. All right, letting go. Do you have issues about letting go? Do you have setbacks? Yeah, that's a good topic. Let's hold on to that topic, setbacks. But just talking about stuff like selling stuff. I mean, for me, it's like I'm the kind of guy who's like, once I'm over it, I'm over it. You know.
Really?
I think even in relationships, yeah. Even in
Who got?
like even yeah,
I
even in,
know
like
Kings. You should have
Right.
been at the when was that? When was that episode?
What?
Thursday? Was it
What?
Thursday?
what?
What?
Come on, man.
It was so funny. It was so funny. We were like talking about something, and he all of a sudden was like, I don't know if you remember that recording store there. It was like what, like was it BCS? And I was just like laughing my ass off because I know for a fact that that music store was owned by his ex girlfriend, so no way he could forget it. But he was like acting as if like, oh, do you know? Like, oh, what was it? Was it bees? I was
Plastikan.
like laughing, and I was like, yeah, right, of
I thought it was
course.
CSB.
And it was so
I thought it was
funny. And,
BTS.
right, and the wifey was in the room with him because they were in the hotel.
Like
And
behind me.
yeah, so she was teasing him too. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was having I was having a
Yeah,
treat there. Yeah.
See, I'm not that. We're cut from the same cloth, Ice. Our mouths get us in trouble. That's the thing. Our
No,
mouths just get us in trouble. We just
I
like we
think
don't know where. Like we
you know what happened? Rod was kind of like in the zone. He was talking. Then all of a sudden, he was already there. He was already there in his mind. I'm pretty sure it was like, oh shoot, damn it!
there's no
Why am
turning
I
back.
in this situation? Right? So it's no turning back. So you have to like
It's like a
stop for a
message
bit.
that you sent.
I
It's like a
know.
message that you sent.
And you
It's
start
already
like,
sent.
I don't know if you know or if you remember, but that was the point where like, oh, I shouldn't have said it, but not no going back now. But yeah,
Yeah,
but that was cool.
you had a
That
good
was
time
cool.
with that one, huh?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it
And
was a
then I didn't
blast.
show
I
up.
was having a
And then I didn't
blast.
show up for our Saturday show.
I know.
So you were thinking
They had a
one
fight
and
because he
one.
didn't show up. Did you know that Saturday
Yeah.
he forgot that we had a show? And I
Yeah, I
was like
think I
waiting
saw the
for 30
message.
minutes.
I just
Yeah.
forgot.
Right?
Like I didn't fall asleep or anything. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and he didn't fall
I just
asleep
forgot.
too. And when I went down, my wife was like, "Oh, what happened? You don't have a show?" I was like, "Oh, we don't have a show." And I was like, "You think they had a fight?" I think they had a fight. And my wife jumped on it, like, "Really? I think they had a fight. I'm pretty sure they had a fight." I was like, "No, no, no, no. If they had a fight, Rod would be on the show because he wants somebody to talk to." So I'm pretty sure they didn't. But then my wife was like, "Well, all right, let's
Dude.
check bags, like page whatever."
What's worse?
Like,
Well,
we
okay,
were
what's
feasting
worse?
on it.
What's worse? Denying your past or being able to talk about it? Because I feel like if you can't
Denying
talk
your
about
past,
it,
that's
that means
worse.
it still has. I think it still has an effect on you. And if like
I know.
if right, if
Right.
your
That's
if
why you
your
shouldn't have
partner
stopped.
can't
You
talk,
should have just like, oh, BCS. You stopped. That was a sort of denial.
I didn't.
Oh, BCS. See, I'm
Dude,
so
it's
having
three
a
letters.
blast here.
I forgot about it. But it's too many letters for me to remember. But
I don't.
either
I don't.
way,
I,
talking about letting go. I mean, I know Pinky's got issues with things, but for me, it's like I don't want to. You know why? Because I'm learning from the mistakes of my elders. Like that's I don't know if it's an Ilocano thing or it's like a curse in my family, but I'm telling you, my family they hold on to stuff. We have freaking maleta, like luggages in the old house that still have plane tickets to like an old PAL plane ticket. It's still in the freaking luggage when I opened it. I'm like, what the heck's going on? It's just like from 1960 something,
Did
This
you
was
throw
propeller
it?
plane era. Yeah, I threw all of that away. I mean, these things
Dude,
were like fall. I mean,
man,
dude, see
you
that's the
should have
thing.
kept at
Like,
least one.
I still have my Lola's driver's
That's
license. Do you want to?
that's
Do you want to know what a
memorabilia.
driver's license?
Yeah, we'll keep that. Of course. Like, show it to me. Show it to us.
why do you keep your grandfather's driver's license under your TV?
I found it. It was like lying
So
around.
random,
That's
right?
just. It is quite random.
I mean, if it's here, even it might return. But it should be here.
Sorry, I didn't mute the mic.
Is it here?
So how's
Anyway, we
COVID
were-
there in
yeah.
Japan, Ice?
Well, yeah, we're still in
Is
a
it
state
still
of
a
emergency.
thing?
That's why we can't play basketball.
Seriously?
So up until the 30th,
You
would
guys
be,
are still in a state of emergency?
well, yeah, it's just sort of like, well, the thing is, like I told you, it's just that you can't do things, as a group, like playing basketball,
Because
or having those, events. But
right
basically,
now
it's still
a lot,
normal. It's pretty
it's
normal.
there you know how the Philippines how we do our things here, like
Right,
it's always there's always an issue with someone or something, so
Yeah,
that's how it
something's
is
always
here.
up.
Yeah,
Yes.
something's always up. But the funny thing is, in Denmark, COVID has been declared as a non-threat to society. So they have
Thank
like,
God.
dude, they don't
Thank
have
goodness.
masks anymore. They don't social
Thank
distance
goodness.
because
Somebody should
95
Where?
Yes.
in Denmark,
Where?
95
That is
Denmark,
That is good
95
news.
95%
That
of their
is good
population
news.
is fully vaccinated. So now it's been declared that COVID is no longer a threat to society in Denmark. So they're back to pre-pandemic life. They have concerts, live concerts. They have sports game, like they have like arena games. They have close contact with people. Cafes are back to normal, and here we are, just doing what we got to do here in Southeast Asia. But hey, not everyone can be Denmark. That's the thing. Are you
Yeah.
excited to go back to not to pre-pandemic life though, or
Of course.
have you gone like super okay with
I mean,
not seeing people
just
in
want-
person?
here's the
No,
thing.
no,
Like,
no, no.
if it's
I'm tired of seeing masked people. I want to see faces.
Yeah.
Really?
if it's a decision thing, like, okay, let's just stay indoors. But I don't mind this setup. But it's the COVID that I don't like. It's the fact that it's
That's
killing
right.
people. It's the fact that
It's
it's taking
always
lives.
there.
It's the fact
Yeah,
that
it's always a threat.
yeah, I don't want the COVID. I can always be like, I can stay indoors, but it has to be like a decision. I mean, I think a lot of us have realized what we can survive and what we can't survive, like situation wise. And a lot of people I know it's going crazy because of the pandemic. But it's either COVID's gonna get you or cabin fever's gonna get you. So
Honestly, this isn't really such a jump from my actual lifestyle before. Like I would go when I have to. Like I have to buy food or like clothes or shop for something important. I don't really party or go to coffee shops for no reason. But right now, I have to admit that it's getting old. Like I mean, we can't complain because we're not in the medical field and they're having the worst time of their lives. But I mean, the biggest difference for me is having to don so many things. I double mask. I don't know. Do you guys double mask? So like when you leave
I
the
don't know.
house, I
My
always
wife
go
does.
like top to bottom. Like I have a cap, I have my face shield, my glasses, 2 masks, 2 alcohols. And your badge, your QR code, and your vaccination card. It's just so it makes going out such a big chore. That's
Right.
that's what it has done.
much of a
But
hassle.
again,
I mean,
I shouldn't complain.
financially,
You
I
shouldn't
don't want
complain.
that.
financially, have you taken a hit? I mean, I don't. I mean, employment
Yeah, a
wise,
lot
you've
of
always
businesses
been
are
you made
suffering.
you made money online, but a lot of people, yeah, like what I was
Yes,
saying,
that's true. That's true.
taking the
That's
financial hit.
That's true.
I mean,
that's another
I
aspect.
think that's the main
Yeah.
thing. It's like if they could stay at home and not have to go out, I think, yeah, why not? But
not everybody has
you
the
know,
luxury of being able to stay at home. Like other
can you
people have
imagine
to go
us?
out.
We're so freaking praning, right? We're so freaking praning about going out, putting a mask on and
That's
everything.
true.
But we go out like how many times in a week? Like I only do the groceries, I only go to the bank or whatever. And then like one time I went to SM and I was buying a KFC and then I ordered a potato corner. And I was like thinking, this lady at Potato Corner, she has to be there every day. She has to be exposed to people that come
Dude,
in
I
and
think the
order.
hardest part is commuting. You don't know who else has
Yeah,
touched
commuting. That's right. It's
that
not like she
Jeep
drives there,
handle,
Yeah.
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 Or like you don't know if
Yeah.
somebody touched the plastic separator thing, the divider thing, and you're rubbing against it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I mean, if you're planning, I imagine commuting would be really, 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 really
Hold
awful.
on. So, something's really funny here because like CJ says also the reason why they held the CS:GO tournament in Denmark, right? And
Oh,
CS:GO
really?
is like a mobile game. You don't
Isn't
really
it
have to be
online?
together.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, people.
Yeah,
What is
it
it?
can be in separate
Oh,
rooms.
it's a PC game.
It can be in separate.
It's a
It is,
PC
it's
game.
a
You don't
PC
even have
game,
to be
yeah.
together. So why is it necessary
Right.
that they hold
So
it in
yeah, you can
Denmark? I
stay-
mean, what?
you
You
can be, what,
It's also
like,
I don't
miles
know
away
if
from
it's
each
still the
other?
happiest
You can
country, but
still
for
do
a while
the
it was the
cricket
happiest
tournament?
country. So yeah.
Denmark,
What?
I guess. I think it's
Yeah.
Denmark.
I don't know.
It's the
I don't know
happiest
if
country.
it's still Denmark, but for a long time, for a
Okay.
while, I think
Okay,
it's always
Raj
the
has a point.
Nordic.
He said, "What if they're using cheats? So they have to be monitored." You know what I'm
All right,
saying?
okay.
The
See?
CS:GO
Right,
tournament. He said, "What if they're using cheats?" That's right. So if they're at home, but what? If they're... Okay,
right.
he got me there.
See?
It has to be in Denmark then. These kids, they know everything.
I know, right? You can't reason with them because they always have an
What is
answer.
he? What category does Raj fall in? He's not a millennial. He's like
No, he's definitely not a
Generation Z.
millennial. Are you a
Generation
millennial,
Z?
Ice? Are
He's
you
a
a millennial?
philosopher.
He's a
Me? Oh, no, I'm
pilosoponial.
not. I don't think I am.
I'm a millennial.
Why? Are we
Millennial
Okay,
Generation
Falcon.
Y
let's
or
see.
Generation Z?
Millennial. When were they born?
Okay,
When it's a
tournament,
tournament, it has to be LAN,
Okay.
local area
Got it,
network.
got it.
So, all right, so
Ah,
they
So
should
they have
be
to be in the
monitored.
same room. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
It should be
you are a
watched over.
millennial if you
of
were
course, it's a
born
tournament.
during the period of 1980 to 1995. So no, you're
My
not a
wife is a
millennial.
No,
millennial.
I'm not a
My
millennial.
wife is a millennial. I'm not a
The funny
millennial.
thing,
I'm
My
like
wife is-
Rod,
before
the
that.
funny thing
I'm like
about your
before that.
wife, we went to the same elementary. I think elementary
You
school.
did.
I think
Holy child, yeah.
like a couple of years ahead, right? Just a couple of years ahead. Me and Bagay.
She's 37. She's 37. You're much
4
younger, I
years.
think.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was like in high school.
We were
when
in
I
the
was
same
in elementary.
campus. We were in the same campus for crying out loud. I was like in fourth year. She was in sixth grade. We were in the same
Yeah.
campus for crying out loud in Holy Child.
Yeah.
Sixth grade. So
Yeah.
grade 1 ako, Ice. Nung fourth year ka, grade 1 ako.
Probably,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
That could be the
Basically,
case.
Grade 2.
Basically, I was in Ateneo and my wifey was down the street in Holy Child
With
pulling
her
her
stroller.
bag.
Right.
Wearing
And I was
that-
I was
wearing
with her
the
in the
tie or
campus.
ribbon thing.
Right?
Ribbon
So this
sa
creepy
elementary.
guy, all right, this creepy guy's
That was
already
the straight chewing guy.
I'ma marry that
drinking at
child.
Ellen's.
Yeah.
standing at Helen's or Cafe Eliza. While
That would
in the
have been
meantime,
so
me
wrong.
and
That would have
Bags
been so
are in the
wrong.
same
I had no
campus.
idea I was gonna marry one of those girls walking around. Okay,
Right?
in Holy Child, who's the younger one? The one wearing the red or the one wearing the blue?
The red.
red.
The blue. The
The
blue
red
one's
are
for
the
the high
babies,
schoolers.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
those high
Okay,
school-
got it.
So
All right, she was wearing
can you
red. She was
imagine-
wearing red.
That's just wrong. I don't want to think about it. That's just so wrong. Imagine going like, I'm gonna marry that child one day. Did you ever? Did you ever go like, hey,
Because
brother mama,
I,
like
I
Johnny
was
Bravo?
20, she was 10. I was 20, she
That's-
was 10.
Yeah, when you put it that
I
way,
was-
it's kind of wrong.
Yeah, I was like 20 and 10, right? That sums up
age,
with that, right?
Age is just a number. Let's just not
It
put it in
catches
that
up with
context
you
because it's
eventually.
weird.
Yeah, it'll
it-
catch
it
up
is.
with you eventually.
That's
you know,
true.
so.
That's true. So let's not say that anymore.
You know what?
out
That
loud.
gives me an idea. Maybe I should order her one of those uniforms.
Oh no!
Make her dress up.
Yeah. I mean, dude. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
They do that in Japan. They do
Yeah.
that
Never
in Japan,
think-
don't they?
Don't
I
kink
mean,
shame. We never kink shame.
Yeah, it's-
What makes you
well,
happy?
I mean, it's a fantasy.
if it
Fantasy is a
works,
fantasy.
it
man. I mean,
works.
Yeah.
you
I mean,
can't- you
Rod
can't
still has
send
a
people
stroller
to jail for
bag.
Fantasies. No.
Rod still, we'll
Right,
take it
yeah,
to
you
the next
still
level.
use that.
I'll have her pull
You
the
can borrow
bag.
it. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Bags. Pull the
no.
bag.
Oh
Can
no!
you wear this one?
And put a dab
You
of
were
maruya
20,
sugar
she
here
was-
on the side.
All right.
Oh
Put a dab of
no!
maruya sugar here.
And can you like tie your hair like this? All right.
Oh no!
Tapos yung ID nakaganyan, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, as long as it's bags, then it's fine. Doesn't matter.
And I have my hair done like this, and then my wifey would be like, "Okay, sure, I'll do that if you have your hair like done like this."
Yeah.
And
Middle
wear a-
part.
wear a
John
Giordano
Mapa
jersey,
DMs.
style.
right? Wear a
Wear
501,
DMs.
and yeah, then we're all good.
Oh, well, anyway, those were the days. And spray your ass
dear.
pen, you know, or Polo Sport. But those were the days. But anyways, all right. So talking about closing it out. I mean, uni, high school versus uni.
Right. Okay.
I
let's
think
have
they
our final
both
say.
have their yeah, they both have their unique experiences. Like I said, mine was obviously unique because high school was like, you know, it
it's
was
high
a
school
different
for you.
experience to me. It was a new environment. No, for me more fun. I would say
Yes.
college because that was when I was more in control. You know, when I was in high school, I was still under the wing of my dad. My dad was like, you know, I had to be home at this time. I was limited on a limited budget. My baon wasn't that much. During college, I was just sent money. I just had an allowance, and it was at my disposal. I was driving a car. You know, obviously that gave me freedom. You know, I was unsupervised. My Lola was the only one with me in the house, and she was certainly not able to supervise me. So I had all the freedom in the world, but I took a lot of risk. You know, it was fun. It felt like college was longer than high school. For me, high school felt like I couldn't tell what one year from the other.
Because
college
you
was
stayed
like
long
more-
in college. You can
Were
say
you-
stayed
You're
long
right.
in
You're right.
college.
Well, what am I? You know what? I was actually at first I was thinking maybe because we had different classmates in college and like in high school, you know, no, I stayed in college for like what 8 years, 7 years.
But you
Oh my
finished it.
God.
You finished
Yeah,
it.
I eventually did.
Yeah,
That's what's
the whole point.
important.
You finished
You
it.
didn't quit.
Fine.
Mm.
But I had issues like ROTC had an issue. We had to PE. I had an issue, so I had to work
Yeah.
that out.
I
had to
stayed
come up with a
longer, too.
certificate.
5 hours.
Like, I had to have
No. 4 years and a half. At least
bronchopneumonia.
half a term.
How do you-
Bronchial asthma
how-
or something?
How do you have
Right.
4 years and a half? You
No, 'cause
quit
I-
one. Nag-underload
October
ka.
yan.
No, because I shifted.
Octoberian?
Ah.
So I was an Octoberian.
Gotcha,
so I
gotcha.
so I
Yeah,
went to
Octoberian,
school for
yeah,
4
yeah.
years and half a semester. then waited out 6 months to March in March.
But Pinky, you did
Right?
it
So
in
I was
4,
already
right?
done.
Yeah, I did it one go. 4 years.
Yeah, my wife did it in 4
I
too.
was
You didn't
cool.
take any summer. You didn't take any summer classes.
I'm pretty sure she took summer classes. You
No,
did, right?
Did
we
you?
weren't really
Really?
required.
No
Unless
summer,
Really?
even algebra.
unless grabe ka naman sa
No,
meron mo
I mean,
algebra 1
no.
lang
What,
yun
what I'm
eh.
saying is like didn't you take advanced classes into summer? You
But
didn't? Because
required.
I
Like if it's required because we had summer classes like
right,
practice.
yeah,
I
I
think
know. Because I did
practicum, I'm
that
not
too.
sure.
I did some like summer classes, but those were advanced subjects, not because I failed them, but I wanted to take them in advance so that I would be not fully loaded in the following semester.
Like the regular semester.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
right.
think
So I would
we
take like
had
three
summer
subjects.
classes. You mean like if you flunk
TJ,
it,
finish high school first. Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
I'm just saying
like
because he's saying there's an instead of finishing college.
Well, some people would
if you
flunk it; they would take it into summer. Like some people did that.
akala
But
ko excited
Yeah,
ka
yeah,
masyado
yeah.
mag-algebra 1, Rod. You wanted to take it immediately.
No, no, no. I
Summer.
didn't take algebra. I took biology. I think during I took bio for summer, which was a waste because I think I failed it. I'm not sure if it was bio or chem, but I failed one of my engineering subjects or didn't do well enough, whatever. And so I took it summer. It was pointless because I shifted. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Right.
It's like,
man.
it's pointless. It's pointless because I took it. Then what the heck? And
then when you
in
shifted, you
that
didn't have
class,
biology. But I think we still have
no,
biology.
no.
You didn't?
I don't know if it's biology or chem. It was probably chem. It was probably chem. I knew I failed one of the two. There's chem lecture and there's chem lab
Then
in
you took it in the
engineering.
Yeah,
summer,
lab black.
then you shifted. So
Yes,
yeah, that
Lab
was a
black.
waste.
it's
That would be a
pointless. It
waste.
was pointless.
All
Same
right.
thing with
Okay.
humanities because humanities was no longer required to finish to graduate management, or at least
Right.
yeah. And humanities was like the first. I think they took it out or it wasn't required, but the first couple of years, it was still there. Like people had humanities. It's a mass comm thing, right? You're under the humanities division, right?
Humanities division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also a
So
subject,
college for
right?
Rod,
But
it is a
I just
subject.
realized transferee din ako. I transferred to, but I finished the whole 4 years like in one go
Well,
because
hold on.
I didn't
Transfer
have
to where?
from UP, right? From UP.
I
Oh
first
yeah, you
studied in
UP
UP.
Min.
Yeah.
That's
No, actually
right.
UP Cebu and then I transferred to UP Min, but I haven't I
Right, but
didn't
then you
start
moved.
Cebu.
Yeah, well,
with
all your
Cebu yet.
subjects were accredited, but like
I
me,
didn't have anything credited. I started from scratch because I
Oh
didn't
my
want to be an
God.
irregular
Yeah.
student. Yeah. I
So
didn't want to be
Majority
regular.
has.
what? Like, did you overload?
No, I took the regular. I mean, the Mascom is 4 years. You don't need to overload.
So if they
to
didn't
finish
credit it, so I mean, okay,
just
so
start
you
from
started from
scratch.
scratch. All right, but then what you're saying is like you started from scratch, but then you did it from 1 to 4,
Yeah,
like in 4
Yeah,
years.
that's-
But
yes.
okay, those other years that you spent in UP, that didn't count.
I spent a year there, and then I got into an accident, so I wasn't willing
Right.
to
So if
commute to
we
Mintal.
include,
So
all right, okay. So
Yeah,
so
so
that
I
means like
transferred
your
to
4 years
Ateneo.
at Ateneo was like a separate year, right? If you complete like your college degree.
Yeah.
So this is like
Yeah,
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 yeah.
all right.
So if you're talking,
So-
if you're talking about she went through the natural progression with her batchmates, no,
From
she became like
Ateneo.
a year behind her
Yeah. Right.
batch.
So all right. So
Yeah,
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 my
she
high
so
did
her
school
original
4 years.
batch.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
high
yeah,
school
yeah.
batch.
In our
Yeah,
case, it was like we were shifties,
Mm.
so that's why it's like we couldn't take subjects on particular like for example, like this subject wouldn't be available on a particular semester. Like, oh no, it would be in the second semester. You can't take it in the first semester. And
Yeah.
these subjects have prerequisites.
Mm.
So that would really delay you. But in my case, it was more of um, I was playing it smart, right? Because I didn't want to be, fully loaded, and
So
I
you
wanted to
took it in
be
advance. Mm.
yeah, some of them.
So you
There's
would
only
have a
one subject
lighter
I
load.
failed,
Were,
which is
were
like
you a
accounting.
working student in college?
No, I
Did you
wasn't. I
work?
was just like doing radio. No, I just didn't want to screw it up. So I was like trying to, and I was choosing teachers because I do want to fail. So I have to be smart in choosing my teachers.
That's good for you because you can choose teachers. Back in during my time, we didn't really have
You
the
couldn't.
freedom to choose teachers.
No, we
How
were.
old
I
were you
lived
guys
in-
when you entered college? Ice, how old were you when you entered
couldn't add
college?
and drop. You couldn't add and drop, like adding, dropping subjects. You don't have that
You
anymore.
you can,
All
but
right, so
upon
that's how I chose
enrollment-
my teachers. Like I would go
Yeah,
in my
but
subject,
it was
but
such
it's
a
sucky teacher.
hassle.
Drop
It
it.
was such
Yeah.
a hassle.
He
Just
found a way.
because.
He
All
found
right.
a glitch. Ice, how old were you
have
when
to beat
you?
the
How old
system.
were you? Yeah, I was an encoder for crying out loud. I was choosing my subject. I was choosing my section. We were encoders. I told you, you hang with Milky, the late
Yeah,
Milky.
encoders
He was
too.
very tight
If
with
you know
Mom
the
Sheila.
encoders, you can ask them
We
like,
were encoders.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
What's
encoders.
what's
We
this
were.
teacher's schedule? What's this professor's schedule?
So
Right.
if you saw
So
your
we'd be hunting
schedule
down.
back in
Right.
1998 and you were in
Mhm.
Ateneo 97, 98, and you looked at your schedule and the signature was Richard Gomez or Logan or one of those like Wolverine or something, that was us. All right. But anyways, I got to ask you, how old were you when you entered college?
I was like
First year college?
16, 17, I think.
16?
16,
How old were
17.
you,
Right that.
Pinky, when you entered
16,
college?
16. I think
I was like
16,
19. I was like 20. No, I was like
Why?
Yeah, because
20, I think.
you were coming from the
Because
States,
am
so
I
you were already
junior
mabuto.
high guy, senior and junior high guy,
Yeah.
right?
No,
That's-
in the States, you graduate high school at 18. And then after you graduate high school at 18, I came home. I waited for the NCEE.
7,
So that was another year,
9,
right?
11, 12,
Right? It was another year. And then, so I ended up like entering
17.
college at 20,
16
man.
or
You know, I was
17.
old already. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was fairly
But-
old. Yeah.
But I mean, right now they have the whole K to 12 thing, and I think it's gonna work
Yeah.
for their
18 na.
advantage because I had to explain. You have to. The Philippines is one of the very few countries who, well, we don't follow. We didn't follow back then. We didn't follow the K2 the junior senior high thing, right? So like if
We
you
did it
ever
back in the day.
apply for a university abroad or a post grad like a place in a post grad program, you have to explain why you're lacking 2 to 3 years.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Because
That's
they
true.
need your educational background. It has to be a certain number
Yes,
of years.
and they
I
would
was
be
like,
surprised.
I can't do
'cause
anything
you're
about
lacking
that
2
because
years.
this is how we
Yeah,
do
hold
it
on.
in the Philippines. And you have to explain it.
Exactly,
So I think now
exactly.
it's a good thing that
It's
I mean,
safer. it's uniform with all the other countries.
it's horrible for the students because it's more work for them, but it's gonna work to their advantage eventually if they do
It is. It is. I
decide to
think,
go
you
abroad
know,
or
I-
study
yeah.
abroad. Raj has a gun. What's that?
The toy gun.
He has a
Don't
gun.
worry about it. See?
I think I had that too. It's nice to see kids still playing with actual toys, although it's a gun. Where did
Yeah,
Rod
right.
go? Where did he go? We were gonna wrap things
Wipe
up.
his kid's butt again.
We're 8 minutes over time.
True.
I'm here,
True.
I'm here,
But
I'm here.
all right. Okay. So Rod said
I'm here.
college. What about you, Pinky? Is it college or high school?
I met some of my best friends in high school, but I also met a couple of good friends in college. But for the freedom, I would say college. Because
Right.
like what Rod said, I got to drive, I had more control of my time, I had a job, and I got to enjoy my salary because I could go to like, I don't know, National Bookstore or Penthouse or remember Penthouse? Penthouse was really cool. They had like orange lights.
It was.
Orangey,
It was.
orangey
Yes,
lights,
it
but
was.
they always had like the best stationery. Like things that you can't find anywhere else. You can usually find at Penthouse.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah. Those were the days. So definitely
But
I
also
would
is at
say
Victoria
college.
Plaza, right?
Yes. In
Yes,
front of
yes,
McDonald's.
near Spencer,
In-
near Spencer, right beside Spencer, I think.
In front of McDonald's. Are we talking about
Yes.
the same place? Okay.
McDonald's, Penthouse,
Yeah, yeah.
Spencer.
McDonald's inside Victoria Plaza, not the one outside.
Yes,
I think it's still there.
Penthouse. Then
I
you
don't
have
know. It's been a
Spencer.
while. I think it's been like what 5 years since I last went to Victoria Plaza or something. It's been a while. I don't know if it's still there, but
It's been ages
yeah.
for me.
I used to hang out there. I love smelling their paper, if that's a thing that you do. But yes, it is. try
You're crazy,
try
man.
it. It smells good. Paper smells
Yeah, I
so
love
good.
I love the
Right.
smell of old paper. Actually, I love the smell of old paper.
Yeah.
Personally. I
All
love
right.
the
So
old-
both
So
of
it's
you enjoyed college,
Yes.
uni,
College.
Yes.
Right.
right?
Minute.
I think I
College,
would have. All right,
definitely.
'cause since you're saying uni, I would have to go for high school. I think,
Really?
yeah, it was one of the best years in my life. That 4 years being with the same people, you were like brothers and sisters. You see them every single day. All the foolishness, all the like stupidity that everybody did, all those fights, all those dramas, right? So it was sort of like it shaped me in a way. Then when I got to college, which is a much more serious life, yeah, I think it got me ready for that. And college life got me ready for the actual life, real life that came after that. So yeah, I would have to say high school. Wala
All
na
right.
Penthouse. It's the NCCC school and office supplies area now. All right.
Man. Penthouse was
No more
really
Penthouse. Oh my god. No, that's so
Oh my
sad.
god. Oh, I also really love that candy bit in
As if you
front
guys
of.
are gonna go there still.
No. You remember like Victoria Plaza, that entrance where they had the McDonald's? inside, not outside, the one near penthouse.
Right.
They
And
had like
there's
that
those
candy
imported
stall.
candies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
candies. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I
Like
love
those
that
imported
place.
ones. Yes, of
I would
course.
always get the bubble tape, like the
Hmm.
the
They don't
tape,
have it
Right.
and the
anymore.
I don't know. I really don't know how. It's been a while. I can't say. I can't
I
say.
think it's the history that you would miss. It's like when Merco closed, that made me sad. I know I'm not living in Davao anymore, but when Merco closed, that really
They had the
affected.
best pancakes.
I was
I
like, oh
love
man,
their
Merco
pancakes.
closed. Merc
I
Corner
love their
closed. I was like, oh,
pancakes.
I ate there so many times.
Yeah, it's the
I would miss it. You
memories.
know what I'm
It's the
saying?
memories.
Oh,
It
God.
reminds you of the
Merc
simple
corner.
life. You know, like
Yeah.
There's only
I
one
know.
Merc. Oh no, there's two Merc corners, right? There was
The one in
one where
Malvar is
now.
Merc
where
Corner.
no, there's one. There was one where I used to hang out too. There was one with billiard tables. There was the one where Dim Sum Diner is now in Guerrero. That used to be a
Guerrero.
Merc corner.
You mean
Guerrero
Bo's
Dim Sum
Coffee?
Diner.
Guerrero. It's
No, no,
Guerrero.
It was
Guerrero Dim
Oh
Sum
yeah,
it's a
Diner.
yeah. I got you.
That was a
I
Merc
got.
corner.
was that a
I
Merc
used to hang
Corner?
out there.
Really? I don't
It was
know.
more of like a bar. It was more of like a
I don't
bar. I
know.
remember it
It
was
was
more like a
Merco,
bar.
but
They had
I
like
don't think it was
billiard
called Merc
tables.
Corner.
I think that was a
Merc
pharmacy.
Stop,
No, that was
Merc Stop,
no.
Merc Stop.
Merc
It was called
Stop.
Merc Stop.
You kidding
Merc
me?
Stop.
Merc
Okay,
Stop, not Merc
sorry.
Corner,
Let's
not
go.
the
Okay,
same
Merc
company.
Stop.
All right.
Not the
All
same
right.
business. What are you
Oh, it's
talking
not.
about?
It's not the
It's
same.
not.
Are
No,
you
it's not the
sure?
same. Merc Stop
Why
is
is it called
different.
Merc
It's
Stop?
not a. It was just a name. Richard Merck could, like probably own that place.
Are you sure it's not owned? Because I mean, I used to hang out there. It's like
It's
there were
Merco,
girls
man.
there.
It's Merco is like Merc Corner,
Okay,
but it's
but Merc
Merc.
Stop's different.
Merc's
Okay.
like Merc. It's not Merc. Stop. It's not that. It's Merc Stop.
All right.
Thank
Got
you
it.
for the education.
Oh yeah, that's
Ice.
that stall, that kiosk that sells airsoft guns, Coco Mimi. It's still around. I think
It's
Coco
still
Mimi's
around?
still there.
All right.
Coco
What?
Mimi's still
Good,
there.
good,
Yeah,
good.
Coco
I don't know
Mimi.
where that
Yes,
is.
Graphic.
They used to-
Unfortunately, Merco's
Remember
closed.
there
Yes,
used to be
it is
bingo.
close,
There used to be
Patrick.
bingo at Victoria Plaza. The stairs that you go up, there was like bingo at the top, like
Yes,
near
yes,
yes,
on the second
Holy
floor.
crap.
On the second
Holy
floor,
crap.
there's like,
Yeah.
and beside it was like an empty space, but they put a track for the Tamiya cars.
Yeah.
Those little
I
cars. There was
remember
a
that.
big track. Yeah, there was a big
Tamiya
track
was
Oh,
there.
big
man.
back in the
People would
day.
go over
Makes me
there.
miss Victoria Plaza.
It does. It's,
But
of course, the fountain, the performances.
Oh man.
Yeah, we all miss
All
that.
right.
the
So
carousel. There used to be a
carousel. Yeah,
carousel,
of course.
right? Yeah.
The picture, the Maniniyot people.
Yeah,
Would
and
be hanging out
you
there.
can always smell it. They have there's this distinct smell near the Maniniot, like the photographer place, photographer place.
Right.
Doesn't it smell weird, or is it just
It
me?
does smell weird.
It,
Yeah,
it
does
smells
smell
weird, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
The where?
The carousel.
The
The-
where?
The carousel
Oh,
part in
carousel.
front of the fountain, like where
Yeah.
you get your photos
It's
taken
a
by this one
carousel,
guy
there's,
with a
like,
camera
St.
around his
Footstep.
neck.
Yeah. So it
Mm.
kind of smells weird. That
It
particular
does, right? It smells
Yeah.
sour. I want to say sour. It smells vinegary, but I don't know. Maybe it's the chemicals that they use.
place. Sour cream. Sour cream.
Okay, Pinky.
Ish.
Before we move
Yes.
on and close the show
What?
officially, where is this from? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh damn! I know where that is.
Da-da.
I know where that is. That's so familiar. I don't know where is it from.
The carousel at SM Ecoland.
Oh, that's why it sounds so familiar.
When you pass
Are you sure
by,
it's not the train? Are you sure it's not the train that goes around? like-
no, I
May
don't-
ganyan
oh,
ba
the
dito?
train, the train.
It's a
No,
train.
I don't think the train. Yeah, I don't think the train.
It's not the train?
There's actually
Okay.
a
Doesn't
guy
have
there
a
like
sound, it
lying
just goes
down inside. Did you know that? There's a guy lying down inside. He's like this, like on the train. He's like literally like Superman pose
Oh,
inside
that's
the
so
train.
cool.
Oh, really?
He's like
Oh, that's
piloting it, but he's
fun.
like, yeah, he's inside the train. You know that part of the train where you don't see
I
the
did not
guy
know
sitting.
that. Did you ever do
Guy
that
at the
job
back.
for a while? How do you know?
Why?
I know my
he
back still
he
hurts.
looked
My back still
he,
hurts.
he looked inside. He took a peek.
No, I did. I saw the guy like it was once. I don't know if I took a peek or he took a break and he stepped out, but he was like literally like
You just ruined it
No,
for,
I did that
for so
job. I
many
would have
people.
probably faked, running kids over. Like, oh,
Oh
I would have probably done that.
Oh,
Scared the shit out of
Misay,
the kids.
Yeah.
Said he's
I mean,
Alright.
anyway,
No, it's just like to
primitive
scare
days.
them, like
Primitive days.
for fun. I mean, not really hit them.
Primitive.
I wouldn't do that.
Gamay lang, tapsing lang.
Yeah, just a feint, feint.
You are a horrible person.
Oh well.
Ayun,
Anyways.
inabot tuloy. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Anyway.
it's been a
Kaubo.
fun hour with you guys.
But thanks for
Alright.
showing up, Pinks. I mean,
Thanks for
like we
showing
always
up,
miss
right?
you, and we always
Yeah,
want your
the
presence.
asterisk
you're
wasn't
busy,
to get your
that's fine.
attention. It was more of like for people to
Yeah, just
know
in
that,
case she shows up.
like it's
But yes.
so that they would not accuse us of fraud, because that would be fraud. Rod, Iceman, and Pinky, like, where's Pinky? That's fraud. Like, so we,
Behind the
put an asterisk there.
scenes. Eye is itchy. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
thank you.
thanks a lot for joining us. Pinky showed up, and all right, so we'll be back Thursday, and hope you enjoyed your time with us. This has been the OK Show with Rod, Pinky, and of course, my name is Iceman. We are.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. It's been a while. I'm a little
I
bit
made a
rusty.
mistake. I made a mistake. I said
Yeah,
your
you were
name.
like,
It's
this
your
is
name
Rod,
already.
and this is Pinky.
I know.
And
All right,
we are
we're rusty. We're rusty. First time that we're like in the show at the same time.
Erase,
So, all right.
erase,
Anyway,
erase.
all right, erase. Okay, one more time. Okay, my name's Iceman,
Rod Rodriguez.
I'm Pinky.
and we
Good
are
night.
out. Good night. Thanks.